Baltimore Orioles.
Outstanding catch.
And streaming live on the Mazin app. It all starts right now.
Chance for a series win for the Orioles tonight in their second series after the All-Star break, and a chance to continue to gain ground in the wild card chase. The O's have taken the first two in Tampa Bay. They'll look to make it 3 straight against their division rivals tonight. And a good evening. Welcome back to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Kevin Brown shortly to be joined by Ben McDonald, who is one of 3 #1 overall picks in Orioles history. Adley Rutschman, the second catching tonight, and the third. Jackson Holliday will be introduced to the crowd during the game. We'll get to see some clips of Jackson before the game later as well. So it's already been an exciting day in Birdland, and the hope is it'll be another after a thrilling win last night. A thrilling win that once again was made possible in large part thanks to Ramon Urias. Tonight is the 162nd game of Urias' career. That's a full big league season, so we can put into context what Ramon has done in his big league career. An OPS of 786 is quite good. 48 extra base hits, including 19 home runs. The game winner last night in the 8th. The hit streak is alive. The on-base streak is alive. And now 5 homers in the last 10 games for Ramon Urias. You and Brandon Highben have used the word sneaky a lot, talking about his power. He's not really sneaking up on anybody anymore, though.
Well, not anymore. And he's had the long ball really working as of late. That's what 4 consecutive series now. He's hit at least 1 home run in. And I tell you what, on the 23rd, the second game against the Yankees, boy, I tell you what, he quickly turned around a fastball off of Shane Green. Orioles were up by 1, looking for some insurance, and Urias provided that late in the ball game. And then last night, probably the biggest hit of his entire career. Seemed like the Orioles were out of this ball game, and he got an 0-2 fastball from Colin Poche and buried it out in left center field. His 11th long ball of the season. That would give the Orioles a lead. And yeah, I mean, you look at what he done. You talk about over 162 games. I mean, in 31 less at bats this year compared to last year. 11 home runs this year, 7 last year. He's only 2 RBIs away from his total of last year, too. And don't forget, he's pretty clutch, hitting .260 in his career, runners in scoring position. Pretty
good defensive third base, too. He's been one of the Orioles' best players. Tyler Wells, Drew Rasmussen, your pitching matchup tonight. All 49 and 48 the O's. They jumped the Red Sox yesterday up to 4th place in the American League East. And they'll face a Tampa Bay team just 3 games ahead of them for the 3rd wild card spot. Rays are 52 and 45. Manager Kevin Cash in his 8th year. With Brandon Lau has been very good. He had in all 6 starts off the injury list in the number 2 spot. Isaac Paredes at his team high 14th homer. He's over at first. And Luke Raley, who's had a heck of a series everywhere, 3 hits and a walk. He bats 6th and plays right.
And they'll take their swings off the big right-hander Tyler Wells, making his 20th start of the year. 7-6 record, a very good ERA at 3.69. He's been consistent. 17 of 19 starts, 3 runs or less, but looking to get back on track. His last time out against the Yankees in 5 innings of work, ended up giving up 5 runs, 2 walks, and struck out 4 along the way.
27-year-old, 6'8", 255, who said before the game he just can't stay still. He's always jittery on days where he starts, but is a very calm, relaxing presence typically on the mound.
Yeah, every 5th day is just a little bit different. You come to the ballpark knowing you're not going to pitch 4 of the 5 days, but on that 5th day it just feels a little bit different.
Wandering outside on the dugout on the warning track before the game, not like a lot of starting pitchers, Tyler. His first year as a big league starter has been a great one. And he will throw to Yandy Diaz. Beginning start number 20 with a strike.
Yeah, I think this first inning is going to be one of the biggest innings for Tyler Wells tonight. Coming off a little bit of a rough start. He wasn't real sharp after the All-Star break, and we've seen a couple of starters for the Orioles not quite as sharp. Sometimes that All-Star break can get you out of your routine, but second start back since the break, I expect him to be a little bit sharper tonight.
That is through the left side, and that's a base hit. Yandy Diaz, who have been 0 for 6 against Wells in his career.
Well, this is StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Take a look at Tyler Wells' pitch arsenal. Four-seam fastball about 42% of the time. It'll average right at 94 miles an hour. The slider's been a difference maker all year long. 26% of the time it's his hardest pitch to get a base hit off of. Changeup and a curveball as well.
Wells, who's been so good against left-handed hitters this year, will face 5 lefties, 4 righties in this Tampa Bay lineup, which alternates right and left for the first 8 before ending on a switch hitter in Taylor Walls. This is Brandon Lau, the first of those 5 lefties. And Lau swings at a first pitch fastball, and it is out of play. 2 hits, a home run for Brandon in the series for a Tampa Bay team that scored just 4 runs and gone just 3 for 21 with runners in scoring position in the 2 games.
Yeah, and that's a surprise because they came into this series as the 4th best team in the American League, hitting and runners in scoring position. But the pitchers for the Orioles, when they've needed to, they've been able to elevate their game.
There's a terrific changeup as Wells gets ahead of Lau. Pitch he's thrown a third of the time to lefties this year. That's a big jump from last season.
Yeah, but T. Wells, you know, he was a reverse splits guy last year too. He got lefties out better than he did righties as well. So it's something he does in his career. Getting them out a little bit more consistently this year, but he doesn't mind facing the left-handers. And there's some guys that are like that. You know, I was like that in my career. 8 of my 9 years, I got out left-handers better than I did right-handers.
Really?
And I used to pitch around a right-hander sometime to face a left-hander.
Why?
I felt like my eye, it's set up from when I would pitch to a right-handed hitter, I would see the glove and the hitter. For whatever reason, when I pitched to a left-handed hitter, I would only see the glove. And so I felt more comfortable pitching to left-handers.
1-2. Breaking ball. It nearly hit him. Did it? Mike Malinsky, the plate umpire, threw his hands up, but apparently did not hit him.
Well, here's the Oriole defense behind Tyler Wells. Austin Hayes back out in left. Cedric Mullins roaming in center. Anthony Santander in right. Mateo and Odor, your double play combination. Ramon Urias back over at third. Ryan Mountcastle at first. And Adley Rutschman behind home plate for the Orioles.
One of the best defensive teams this year in baseball. They are 4th in the majors in defensive runs saved. The Orioles. 2-2 for Lau. Got a piece of a changeup. There is your umpiring crew tonight. That is Mike Malinsky, the man behind the plate. Eric Backus, crew chief Jim Reynolds, and John Lipka, first to third. Six pitches here to Lau. And that one poked out toward right center. Mullins got a good jump. Made it look easy. He'll throw behind Diaz at first. It is in time double play. Diaz was way off the bag. And Mullins shows off his improved arm with a straightaway dart to Mountcastle.
Apparently Yandy Diaz has not been paying attention to who plays center field for the Baltimore Orioles. Mullins quickly towards the right center field gap. Diaz way off the bag. Mullins a strong throw and a nice finish on the back end by Mountcastle, and Diaz is doubled off.
Tyler Wells, yes sir. And the Orioles turn 2. Oddly.
And the Orioles, yeah, and that seems like that's been missing here lately from the Orioles. The Orioles were kind of leading the way in double plays first couple of months of the season. We have not seen many double plays as of late.
And they're only tied for 9th coming into the game in the majors, and we say only because they were top 3 first place for a while. Outfield assist, that's Mullins' 7th of the year, and the Orioles 22nd. That's tied for 3rd in baseball. Now a strike to Arozarena. Well, Tyler Wells has some good numbers against some of the Rays' better hitters. Yandy Diaz with that hit, now 1 for 7, but Arozarena 1 for 10. G-Man Choi is on deck, 0 for 7. So Wells has owned some key matchups. And if you're an Oriole pitcher and you hold Arozarena to 1 for 10, That's kind of like 1 for 50.
Yeah, I mean, he came into this series hitting, what, 380 career against the Orioles with 13 home runs. There's a good slider around the outside part. When Tyler Wells has owned his game, it's efficient. Like, he quickly gets ahead and quickly gets rid of hitters. He wants to create early contact, and I believe that just came about with him knowing his pitch count. They weren't going to allow his pitch count to get up too much this year, so he wanted to try to work as deep his ball games as he could, and it began with, I'm going to go at guys real quick, and all of a sudden he starts turning around. He's worked through the 5th. He's worked through the 6th. Once he got 90 and a third coming in, innings pitched.
It was a season where we just didn't know if we'd see Wells go past 4 innings, 5 innings much. He's thrown 5 innings, 12 of his 19 starts. Arozarena flares a slider out toward left center, and Randy Arozarena darting around first will hold with a 2-out single. Just his second hit in 11 at-bats against Wells.
And I'm going to tell you what Tyler Wells is going to have to do tonight. He's going to have to use the inside plate. I mean, that's a really good pitch. And when I see a hitter that goes out and takes a ball that's knee-high on the outside part of the plate and can get enough bat on it to lob it out in center field for a base hit, tells me he's not respecting the fastball on the inside part of the plate. So Tyler's going to have to keep Tampa Bay honest by using the inside part for strikes every now and then.
That's where you felt like the O's had success against Arozarena yesterday too, right? Fastballs in.
I mean, what'd you see? I mean, it looked like to me he did not want the ball in, and the Orioles had a lot of success off him. He showed me all. Now, I'll say this. Pitching 201 would be Arozarena 2 out, nobody on. I may give him an opportunity to take his single the other way, but when it matters the most and he comes up the next time, runs in scoring position, I may pitch him differently.
Deep to left center from Choi. Mullins at the wall, and Ji-Man Choi has an opposite field home run. Right after that 2-out single, Choi takes Wells deep. His first career hit against Tyler Wells, and it is Tampa Bay on the board first for the first time this series.
Ji-Man Choi came in 1 for 8 in the first 2 games. That's his 8th long ball of the season. 104 off the bat and traveled just about 400 feet. And that's some pop there. Opposite field. 4-seam fastball, trying to get it down and away, and it's on the outer third of the plate. A nice inside out swing by Ji-Man Choi.
That is the 13th home run allowed by Wells this season. And Choi with his 8th. RBIs 42 and 43. Second most RBIs on the Rays. A free and easy swing after a very quiet start to the series for Ji-Man Choi. And a big hit for a Tampa Bay team that is only 10th in the American League in home runs and 11th in slugging percentage.
Yeah, they are missing a lot of offense compared to what they had last year. Last year, they're the most offensive team in all of baseball besides the Houston Astros at 5.3 runs per game, but not this year. Only 4.1 runs per game this year.
Wells usually very good in the first inning. 0-2 for Paredes, Tampa Bay's home run leader. Part of the Austin Meadows trade in the offseason. Josh Lowe and Paredes came over from Detroit. Hard to declare a winner right now. Lowe has struggled. Paredes has been pretty good. But Meadows has had all kinds of issues for Detroit. He's dealt with vertigo, this time on the COVID IL. He's on the real IL now with some Achilles issues, so he has not had a chance to get going for Detroit. Kevin Cash's team. Well, Paredes has been one of their best power hitters at age 23. Couldn't hold up there, and a strikeout ends the inning for Wells. Mullins, Rutschman, Mancini to bat when we come back. With a lineup written out by Brandon Hyde in his 4th year in the O's, 49 and 48. Ramon Urias, great against everybody this season, particularly great against Tampa Bay, 7 extra base hits. He's in the 8th spot. It's the same 9 batters as yesterday, just a couple of lineup tweaks. Adley Rutschman all the way up to the number 2 spot.
And there is Drew Rasmussen making his 17th start of the year. Very good record and a very good ERA. 3.13 ERA. Faced the Orioles one time this year. That was his first start of the year back on April the 9th. He worked 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, walked 1, and struck out 3. But he's been consistent. 14 of his 16 starts this year, 3 earned runs or less.
Rasmussen gets around the outside corner there. Called it a strike for Cedric Mullins, who led off the game with a home run yesterday. No swing from Cedric at the cutter. A new pitch introduced by Rasmussen this year. 7 for 17 on a current 5-game hit streak, and Mullins has also walked in 3 consecutive games. And a home run, a walk, and a steal last night. 2-2.
Rasmussen drafted by the Brewers in the 6th round back in 2018 out of Oregon State, so was a teammate of Adley Rutschman,
who he will face after this batter. Mullins over the top of a cutter, and a strikeout starts the game for Rasmussen.
That cutter's got some really late break. That fastball's going to tick up to 95, 96 miles an hour by Rasmussen. It looks like a fastball. Look at that late dip. 90 on the outer third. And take a look at Rasmussen's pitch arsenal. 4-seam fastball only 35% of the time. He likes that cutter 33% of the time. The slider's a good one too. Opponent's hitting just 212 off of it. Curveball and occasional 2-seam fastball.
And it's his 27th birthday today, Drew Rasmussen. And for his birthday, he gets his old battery mate. 2017 college teammate, his catcher at Oregon State, Adley Rutschman. And there is a first pitch curveball. So this could be a fun little cat and mouse game. Rutschman and Rasmussen meeting for the first time in the big leagues after spending a year together at Oregon State. And a curveball and a slider to start him. Still friends, those two. Rasmussen 3 years older than Rutschman. Rasmussen was a 2018 pick but didn't play on the World Series team because he had Tommy John surgery. Hot fastball here. Adley hits it sharply, but right at the shortstop walls, and it is advantage pitcher in the Beaver battery battle.
Well, here's the Rays defense behind Rasmussen. Randy Arozarena out in left. Josh Lowe in center this time. Luke Raley over in right. Taylor Walls and Brandon Lau up the middle. Yanni Diaz at third. Isak Paredes over at first. And Christian Bethencourt behind home plate for the Rays.
What a night for Luke Raley. Again yesterday robbed a home run on the 3rd batter of the game. Ryan Mountcastle sent one over the right field fence. And Raley with his glove sent it back.
Yeah, in 2 games here, he's had more hits than he had the entire season coming in. Had 2 hits the entire season coming in, 3 hits in this series for Luke Raley. So he's been a difference maker on both sides of the ball.
Here is Trey with 2 down. Big RBI last night. Still in an 0 for streak. 0 for his last 25. 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, but gave the Orioles a big insurance run in the 8th inning last night. A sacrifice fly to deep right field. And Brandon Hyde loved it because he said it showed me he could stay back, take the ball the other way.
Well, that was the Trey Mancini swing that we've been looking for. And when he's going good, that's exactly what he's doing, driving that ball hard out to the right center field gap.
Slider here, and Rasmussen strikes out 2 in a 1-2-3 first. Start for Tyler Wells, allowing a 2-run home run to Ji-Man Choi, a left-handed batter. Wells has been so good against lefties this season, better than lefties against righties, not just overall, but the batting average on every single pitch better against left-handed batters, Ben, and not all the pitches you might think. Even the slider's been better right on left.
Well, I mean, it's very similar to what he did last year, and as a reliever last year, the numbers were very similar. He just likes lefties better than he does right-handed. That's what you like about him. And that's why we thought he would sit at the back end of a bullpen. It didn't matter the matchups. He was just as good against lefties, or actually a lot better against lefties than right-handers.
Now, the slider, usually for a right-hander, that's the pitch you dominate righties with because of the break away from it. What is it about his slider to lefties that you think gets better success than against righties? Well,
I think because he can start that slider. You know, he dominates what we would say away from righties and inside to lefties with that slider. So he can get the slider down on the way to the right-handers, but he can also get it down and in and underneath the bat of the left-handed hitters.
One of those 5 left-handed hitters for Tampa Bay tonight here. That's Luke Raley.
And when it's really going good, he can backdoor that breaking ball too.
A couple of changeups here for Raley. 3 for 7 in the series. 2 doubles, a walk. Robbed a home run. And a fastball here is well struck. Mullins away back in center and gone. Luke Raley with his second Tampa Bay home run of the night. And he continues to torture the Orioles in every facet of the game. His first home run of the season.
2 for 25 on the season. Coming in was Luke Raley. 4 base hits in 3 games now, including his first long ball of the year. 4-seam fastball. There's a really good look at it. You see where Rutschman is set up, and that's what missing by about 8 inches will do right there. Ball stayed right in the heart of the plate instead of being away, and Raley simply just puts a barrel on it, almost straight away center field.
27-year-old with some pop. 8 home runs in just 28 games in AAA. His first of the big league season here. And ball 1 to Christian Bethancourt with a rare curveball. So 2 home runs allowed by Tyler Wells. Second straight start where he's allowed 2 home runs. Had only allowed 2 homers in one of his first 18 starts this season. I mean, the question with Wells all year has been how long can he hold up. More innings pitched this season than last year by a number of 33. Did not pitch in a game in 2020. Did not pitch in a game in 2019.
See how everything's up just a little bit. Fastball's a little bit elevated. Not elevated enough where you want it at times, but not down to knees. When Tyler Wells is really good, he's popping that 4-seam fastball to get ahead right at the bottom of the knees, and then he's elevating when he's wanted to. Right now, he's kind of caught in between the breaking ball and the fastball.
One or 2 for Bethancourt. A trade acquisition from Oakland on July the 9th, 18 days ago. Acquired for a couple of minor leaguers. 3 for 17, 6 games with Tampa Bay. And a big pinch hit home run against the Orioles off Cianel Perez 12 days ago. That's a better slider. Wells with his second strikeout.
Yeah, better shape to it and a lot better location. So watch where it starts and then where it ends up. You get ahead 2 strikes. This is the pitch you want to throw. It is a strike as it travels towards home plate, but those last 4 or 5 feet, see how that's nice and late and just off the outside corner.
There are a lot of pitchers that will say their slider and cutter are basically interchangeable terms for a pitch. Sort of a hybrid of the two. And sometimes Wells, it does look like that. It's not the sweeper that we've seen a lot of folks adapt. It is a little bit more cutter-like in its sharpness.
Yeah, we mentioned it a few starts ago. It felt like the cutter had picked up, or the slider already picked up a little bit of velocity. He was throwing it a couple of miles an hour harder than what he had all year long.
Average this season on that pitch been 88 miles per hour. We've seen some up at 90, 91 since the break. 1-1 to the number 8 hitter Josh Lowe. Is a good fastball low.
And that's where he likes to be in those types of counts, right down there towards the bottom.
Former first-rounder Josh Lowe, Major League rookie, will flick a changeup foul. "24 years old, Josh Lowe, a Rays lineup. It always seems to have a couple of young players in it. Not as much experience as they would with a regular lineup for sure." Fastball got him up and in. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wells after the home run.
Yeah, fastball command starting to come a little bit better. So he was down low for strike 2. And watch Rutschman says right up here, big right hander. Give it to me in the upper part, and that's exactly where it's delivered.
Three strikeouts for Wells. Last 5 batters, 3 strikeouts, 2 home runs. Now Wells and Walls. These are 2 names that might auto-correct to each other. Taylor Walls, Tyler Wells. Tyler Wells, Taylor Walls. Another fastball for a strike.
Of course, the Rays very familiar with Tyler Wells. He makes his 4th start of the year against them. They pretty much had his number this year. 7.50 ERA in 3 starts.
A couple of home runs for Mike Zunino, who is one of the Rays out for the season. But tonight's Tampa Bay catcher got him in this inning. Bethancourt with a home run. 2 home runs in 2 innings for Tampa Bay, which leaves it 3-0. Afternoon today at Oriole Park. Jackson Holliday, the Orioles' #1 overall pick, officially announced to the media, signed his Orioles contract, donned his first Oriole jersey, and then, Ben, you got to meet him before the game as he took some BP.
Yeah, got a chance to visit with him. Good kid, really good kid, very mature.
Oh, the 1-1s right there, you, Adley, and Jackson.
Got to watch him take a few swings. Kind of took it easy the first round. Second round, hit the ball the other way. Then he hit a few of them out of the ballpark like he can do. 17 home runs he hit this year in college ball, or a high school ball rather.
Jackson will be introduced to the crowd shortly. He is here at the game with his family tonight. Anthony Santander up the middle and through. Under the diving attempt of Walls, and Santander is the Orioles' first base runner.
Yeah, the Orioles finally make contact with one of those 2 breaking balls that Rasmussen has. He was really good in the first inning, struck out Mullins and Mancini on breaking balls. First pitch breaking ball, that's a slider. That one just kind of set on the outer third of the plate and right back from whence it came.
Santander now on a 7-game hit streak, 6 for 17. Couple of home runs on the homestand, including a homer last night. And here's Ryan Mountcastle. First pitch swinging, that is out of play. So you noted, Ben, after that first inning, Rasmussen threw a lot of high breaking balls, but it didn't seem like the Orioles got a lot of comfortable swings against those, even though they were elevated.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the time of the day and just wasn't picking up the spin. But it was really good. Now he can spin it. I mean, we're looking at his spin numbers. He spins that cutter well above average. He spins the breaking ball at almost 2,700 RPMs. Big league average about 2,500.
And Mountcastle takes his sinker through the right side. Back-to-back base hits for Santander and Mountcastle.
Boy, good to see Mountcastle get going. Big base hit the other day after an offer for a while. When he's at his best, he's doing this right here, using the opposite field. The hands have always been super quick, and that ball just getting on the inside part, but he throws the hands at it first, and the barrel follows it and shoots it out to the right side. So a really good start for the Orioles here in the second. First and second, nobody out.
That's only the 12th sinker Rasmussen has thrown this season. He throws that pitch 1% of the time. And Mountcastle put it in play through the right side. So 2 on, none out for Austin Hayes, who takes ball 1. Hayes 1 for 5 with a walk in the series. 12 home runs, tied for 9th in the American League with 23 doubles. Tied for 2nd of the Orioles, 91 games played out of their 98. A dribbler foul, 1-1. This is a much more balanced Oriole lineup, with Rutschman moving up to the 2 spot and excelling there with the emergence of Arias and Mateo, 8 and 9. Hayes has a little bit of a slower second half to his season, really since the cycle, and the Orioles have still scored a lot of runs. They picked up the pieces around him. Get a hanging breaking ball here, and he's out in front. If you want reason for optimism with the lineup, there's a lot of it. Hayes has not hit terribly well the last month plus. Mancini, Mountcastle have been on slower stretches, and still Orioles are scoring runs, winning games.
Yeah, and the key to that is I would take it to runners in scoring position. I mean, you look back the last 17 games, not many teams better in baseball than the Orioles the last 17 games. They're hitting 319 with runners in scoring position. So while they've not gotten a lot of base hits, they've gotten the big base hits when it mattered. We go back and look, what, about 2 months ago, the Orioles were the dwellers in the American League as far as hitting with runners in scoring position. They have been creeping up a lot here in the last month.
I'm just going to say that the funny thing about that, last night they won by going 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. It's an anomalous game as Hayes shoots one to right. Easy play for Raley. Santander tags. He's going to try to go to third, and he will get to third. Good base running by Anthony Santander. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Fast Play Rich's bases loaded contestant of the game is Steve Rorals from Fort Washington. Steve has already won $500 and will win $500 more for each Orioles home run hit tonight. Enter your Fast Play Home Run Rich's bases loaded ticket into My Lottery Rewards for your chance to win. Just go to mdlottery.com/homerun. Orioles hit 3 homers last night. They're up to an even 100 on the year. That is 8th best in the American League. Rougned Odor, one of 5 Oriole players in double digits in homers. Tends to be an annual occurrence for him. That's a chopper through the vacant left side. Good placement. Santander is home on a chopper to score a run from Odor and put the O's on the board.
There's your old Baltimore chop. And it works too. Not hit hard, but hit in the right place. All smiles from Rougned Odor. Just a little backdoor slider that sits right there, and Rougned Odor just pounds it right into the ground, and nobody over to shortstop position.
It almost looked like he was trying to do exactly that. So runners in scoring position here. A fly out from Hayes that moves up the runner at base, Santander, and then a base hit from Odor. And now this guy. Everybody's in scoring position these days when Ramon Arias comes to the plate. First pitch swinging, and this is easy for Raley. See if Mountcastle tries to run on him too. He will attempt to go to third, and he will get in there. So the Orioles not respecting Raley's arm. They've taken 2 extra bases on him as Ryan goes first to third. Number 9 hitter Jorge Mateo with Mountcastle at third and Odor at first. Mateo in the midst of maybe his best stretch as an Oriole against Drew Rasmussen. He'll take one in the dirt.
Yeah, June was a rough month for Jorge Mateo. I tell you what, July has been totally different for him. He was 4 for 12 a couple series ago against the Rays, 4 for 12 against the Yankees, drove in 2, and 1 for 3 so far in this series.
10 straight games on base, 7 straight with a hit for Jorge Mateo. Rasmussen, a minor league reliever, college reliever, who's become a starter only in the last year or so. All 26 big league starts in the last 2 years with Tampa Bay. Rides a fastball up and no swing by Mateo.
Yeah, best fastball velocity wise of the night by Rasmussen. Fastball typically averages 95. That one 97 up.
Two and 1 for Mateo. Now 2-2. Strikeout rate way down for Jorge in the month of July. The American League stolen base leader now. He's taken over the crowd from Julio Rodriguez in large part because Mateo's just getting on base a heck of a lot more. Doubled in the 8th inning yesterday and then went ahead and stole third off of Colin Poche. And Mateo chases a slider for strike 3. Orioles strand 2 but score 1 on the day where Jackson Holliday, #1 overall pick, will get introduced to Camden Yards. Last season, Cedric Mullins became the first player in Orioles history to join the 30 home run, 30 stolen base club, and we'll commemorate that next Friday, August 5th. First 20,000 fans 15 and up will receive a Cedric Mullins 30-30 club bobblehead presented by Masson. Orioles play the Pirates and great seats are available at Orioles.com/tickets. And you can get this right here. Little Mullins bobblehead. It works. The head bobbles. You got yours taped to the desk right there for safekeeping.
Well, it's just there.
Hope a foul ball doesn't take him out. Like the shape of the beard, like the color of the beard. Got the silver slugger in one hand, got the base in the other. It's a good bobblehead. Do you have a bobblehead, or is there a Ben McDonald bobblehead?
You know, I don't even know. I can't remember. I'm sure there's one somewhere.
I have a feeling you would know, probably.
I don't know if I know.
If they had a bobblehead day for you, you don't think you would have known?
No, not 30 years later.
1-2 for Diaz. Apparently a nice catch right below us. The crowd goes wild. Have to assume that. Unless the crowd got together during the inning and said, we'll play a concerted joke on Kevin and Ben who cannot see us. Any foul ball that comes here, rousing ovation.
Yeah.
Top of the Tampa Bay order against Tyler Wells. Diaz, Loud, Arozarena, and Yandy fouls one back again. So better finish to the second inning for Wells. After the Luke Raley home run, 2 strikeouts and a soft pop out. Rays with home runs tonight from Choi and Raley. All right, that one I don't think was caught. Diaz a very low strikeout rate, makes a lot of contact. but not there. Up the ladder to get him. And a strikeout for Tyler Wells is his 4th.
And for the first time tonight, Tyler Wells has retired the leadoff batter of the inning. This is a high fastball, elevates it just above the top of the zone for a swing and miss at 94.
Brandon Lau lined out into an 8-3 double play in the first inning. It's an unusual double play, but it's not unusual that the Rays would do that. They are aggressive often to a fault, Tampa Bay. They've now made 48 outs on the bases this season, which was 8 more than the second place Dodgers coming into the night. That does not include pickoffs or caught stealing or force plays. That's simply a batter trying to take an extra base or a batter getting doubled off on a play like that. The Rays are also tied for 4th in the American League in steals, but they've been caught just about a third of the time. Lau to the right side. Odor is there. And Lau is out. Well, you know you can catch Orioles baseball anytime, anywhere on the all-new MASN app. Watch live games and receive expert analysis and team coverage from our MASN insiders. Real-time action, scores, and stats all in the palm of your hand. Scan the QR code on screen or go to masnsports.com and download yours today. See right there, it's so simple.
That's what they're looking at. Yeah.
They could be watching the archive of the Jackson Holiday press conference from earlier today, which is streamed live. MASN All Access. And you can follow our MASN All Access pages on Facebook or on YouTube. A lot of wonderful content on there. Pre-game, post-game interviews. Paul Mancano, Brendan Mortensen with their MASN All Access podcast. Rosarena off the end of the bat, out to center, and a 1-2-3 third inning for Tyler Wells. Birdland's Summer Music Series presented by Miller Lite continues next weekend, Saturday, August 6th, after the Orioles and Pirates. Our 30th anniversary I Love the 90s concert. Drew Hill, Cisco, Smash Mouth, and DJ Spinderella. Post-game concert is included with your game ticket, plus special on-field passes available for just $25. Learn more at Orioles.com/music, and we will see you at the park on Saturday night. Right now on a Wednesday evening, Tampa Bay has the lead 3-1. And Cedric Mullins takes ball 1. Second time through the order for Drew Rasmussen. Orioles with 3 hits, all singles. Rasmussen 3 strikeouts, no walks.
Pretty good cutter there. Rasmussen's last time out back on July 22nd versus the Royals. He worked 5 innings, 7 hits, but only gave up the 1 run, struck out 4. Doesn't typically work late in the ball games. He's averaged only 4 2/3 per game in his 16 starts to this point.
Another good catch in the stands. That one we have video evidence of. Mullins so good this season, a second time against a pitcher. He has been brilliant at making adjustments. Saw the power last night with an explosive swing on a first pitch home run against Shane McClanahan. 32 extra base hits on the season for Mullins. And a high breaking ball bounded right to Paredes. Let's go to Brett Hollander.
Kevin, Adley Rutschman and Rays starter Drew Rasmussen were teammates at Oregon State back in 2017. And Adley spoke very highly of Rasmussen on and off the field. In fact, when Adley made his college visit to Oregon State, he stayed with Rasmussen and other teammates, so they go back a ways. But I did ask Adley if he knew today was Drew Rasmussen's birthday. He said he did not. So close, but apparently not Facebook friends. Kevin?
No, and they're not friends right now either. Maybe after the game.
If you're not Facebook friends, I mean, what else is there in the world at this point, truly? Much more the chopper. That is just a foul ball. Paredes was in fair territory. Eric Bacchus thought the ball hooked foul, and that is a non-reviewable play. Kevin Cash, doesn't matter where you look. That's not a play that can be reviewed.
Not reviewable as much as he wants to look at it.
Fair foul in the infield. So Rutschman, who grounded out against Rasmussen his first time. Take a good breaking ball. They were hoping that Rasmussen could be a big part of that Oregon State championship team in 2018, but it didn't work out that way. Underwent a second Tommy John in September of 2017 after he had originally been drafted in the first round by the Rays, ironically enough. So 31st pick 2017. They couldn't reach an agreement. Then he had Tommy John surgery a couple of months after the draft. Rutschman hooks this into right field. And Adley wins the Battle of the Beavers.
Boy, nice swing. Fooled a little bit was Adley Rutschman. The body kind of drifted out in front, but he keeps his hands back. Look at him, just reaches out there and puts a barrel on it, and just over the head of Brandon Lau. That's some nice bat control. Jim Palmer always talks about knowing where the head of the bat is. And Adley Rutschman has a feel for where that bat is through the zone.
And right now, Drew Rasmussen is wishing he didn't have to deal with his old college buddy. Here's Mancini. You must have faced some of your college teammates in pro ball, right?
Yeah. Remember facing Albert Bell a bunch. Albert Bell, Joey Bell was a teammate of mine at LSU my freshman year. He was a junior.
What was that like for you?
I just wanted to get him out. I just didn't like him. You know, I mean, it didn't matter who you played with, man. At the time, trust me, you're not friends. Like he's trying to take money out of your pocket. He's trying to win the game, right? And you're trying to win the game. But he was one of the most feared hitters I remember. I mean, you go back and look at his numbers. Arguably, you know, if he doesn't get hurt, if Albert Bell doesn't get hurt, I think he ended up with 386 career homers. He was hitting 35, 40 a year at the time. You know, he's a Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Famer kind of guy. Just got hurt and the injuries ended his career, but he put up some monster numbers with Cleveland, of course, here in Baltimore as well.
Did you feel like you knew how to get him out better because you had played on the same team, or vice versa?
I always felt like he was just one of those guys that knew me, but I knew him too, and so it came down to execution. You know, could I go out and execute a game plan? When you execute your game plan, you get the ball where you want to. Typically, you get guys out, but when you miss with a guy like him, that's when it tends to go a long way. And just like Adley Rutschman facing Rasmussen, right? He knows what he probably does, what he likes to do. But if you make good pitches at the end of the day, I never question pitch selection as you question pitch location. You get the ball where you want to get it, and you're going to get big league hitters out.
Three and one for Mancini. There's a walk for Trey. And back-to-back base runners in the Oriole third. And that means Anthony Santander is the go-ahead run after doing this 1 night ago.
Yeah, off Shane McClanahan in the 4th inning last night. One of the few change-ups that McClanahan threw that didn't do a whole lot other than end up in the Oriole bullpen. Anthony Santander, his 17th long ball of the year. That leads the Orioles.
The only changeup hit for a home run against McClanahan this season. And Santander here drills one to right, not quite enough. Raley puts him away. Rutschman tags, and Rutschman is the third Oriole to go from second to third on a flyout to right as Tampa Bay gets out number 2.
Well, that's what you call just missing a 3-run shot right there. Ball got in just enough on Santander. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, going back to McClanahan last night, the first 12 changeups he threw were swung and missed. That's how good that changeup was last night.
Yeah, the Orioles ended up swinging at 17. They missed 14, including those first 12 swings, and then they had the 1 home run from Anthony. Turned out to be a big one. Ryan Mountcastle thought he had a home run against Shane McClanahan last night, but he was robbed above the right field wall by Luke Raley. Asked Ryan if he remembered the last time he had been robbed of a home run before the game, and he didn't hesitate. He said, yeah, it was Kiermaier last year. So Tampa Bay's done it to Mountcastle a couple of times in his career.
Tampa Bay's missing a lot of guys, but Kiermaier is one of the guys that certainly makes a difference for them. Tampa Bay now, what, 17 guys right now on the IL. We talked about this last night. If you missed it, I mean, that's 5 everyday players out of their lineup right now. The rest of the American League East combined only have 4. That's what kind of year it's been for Tampa Bay, but yet they're still hanging in there.
0-2 for Mountcastle, 2 on. Somehow got a piece of that thing. The Rays put Matt Whistler on the injured list today. That is because of a neck strain. 17 players now on the injured list for Tampa Bay, and it's not a light 17. I mean, it is a lot of good players, not just the regulars, but a whole bunch of key pitchers.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, even with that many pitchers being out and significant arms out, the ERA is still 3.43 overall, 3rd best ERA in the American League.
And 4th in all of baseball. Right now in the 3rd wild card spot, 2.5 games up. Orioles are 3 back of Tampa Bay for that last playoff position. That's in the dirt, kicks away wildly, and a run scores with Rutschman racing in front of Rasmussen to give the Orioles a 2nd run.
Boy, you'll take them any way you can get them. This was a breaking ball that was spiked well out in front of home plate, and not much Bethencourt can do with this. He tried to slide over and get in front of it, but it looked like to me it came off his mask. Taking a look at this, just a breaking ball spike. Yeah, it came way up high. He did everything right, but sometimes you can't control the height of the bounce. It gets him off the mask. When it hits that mask, it may go anywhere.
And now, how pivotal was that advancement from 2nd to 3rd on the fly ball to Raley? Gets the O's within 1, trade to 2nd. Mountcastle to right. Raley charging in, charging hard, and Raley will put it away in fair territory. After falling behind 3-0, the O's are chipping away. He made his on-field debut at Camden Yards, the #1 pick in baseball in 2022, introduced to the Camden Yards faithful, and he's hoping he'll be back here as a big leaguer in just a short while.
I'm very excited to start playing. It's been a little bit since I've been able to compete on the baseball field, so I'm very excited to get going and get down there to Florida and start competing. I want to be up here as fast as possible, so I would love to come out hot and continue to play well. So hopefully 2 years or less would be my goal.
I love the ambition right there. There's his dad, Matt, who was just a phenomenal player. Brandon Hyde said before the game today he was the one guy you didn't want to see with a runner in scoring position because he did a 3-iron in the right center field gap.
That's a big man, and I tell you what, he put up some big numbers, did Matt Holliday. .299 career hitter, 316 long balls in his career. Of course, 7-time All-Star, World Series champion.
4-time Silver Slugger as well, Matt Holliday. Had an amazing big league career. Orioles will be happy to take that from Jackson, but you don't need to get quite that to have a wonderful career. 15 years in the bigs for Matt. And Jackson speaking to the media and speaking to you today as well about just the experience of growing up in big league clubhouses and the comfort level with being around the big league game. G-Man Choi on the ground to short right field, and Odor throws him out. The 30th anniversary of Oriole Park celebration takes place Saturday, August 6th. And the first 15,000 fans through the gates 15 and up will receive our 30th anniversary Oriole Park t-shirt. Plus, stick around post-game for the Birdland Summer Music Series presented by Miller Lite. I Love the 90s concert. Tickets as low as $15. And don't forget, that's a special 5:05 game time because of the post-game show. O's and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, and look, growing up around a big league clubhouse, definitely a huge advantage. You know, I mean, that, when you grow up in his earliest memories, you know, his dad started his career with the Colorado Rockies, and he remembers being in the clubhouse with the Rockies, you know, and taking BP and being on the field and doing those types of things. And it is a big advantage. You know, he's just comfortable in this setting, in this environment, because he's been here before. And boy, I tell you what, the numbers he put up in high school, I thought it was a misprint when I first saw it. But I mean, what, he hit 685?
Yep, that's it.
17 homers, stole 30 bases in 40 games.
Yes, 79 RBIs in 40 games. My question is, why did any Oklahoma team pitch to him? Why give him the chance to drive in 79?
Well, his middle brother, Ethan, just a freshman at the same high school, so they were in the lineup together, and he played third base as a freshman at a 6A high school, and he hit 10 home runs. And so watch out for young Ethan Holliday too. He is coming fast.
Yeah, we had some folks giving us the early download on Ethan before the game. He's here with the Holliday family.
Of course, Matt and wife Leslie, and then of course Jackson. We saw Ethan, and the youngest one, Reed. And don't forget about their daughter too, Grayson.
Wonderful baseball family, wonderful family period. It really seemed like before the game. Great to have us get to spend some time with the Holidays. And maybe Jackson will be up here in 2 years, as he says. That's the goal. And hey, you love the ambition.
I love that. I love the confidence.
Grade 2 for Isaac Paredes. Wells struck him out on a high fastball in the first inning. Couldn't get him on a high fastball in the fourth. It's been 7 in a row retired since Luke Raley, the on-deck hitter, homered in the second. Wells has settled into the groove. And Paredes pokes one into right field for base hits. We mentioned Jackson's father, Matt, 15 years in the big leagues. He's got a world of advice that he passed on to his son.
When you enter into the professional baseball pool of players, the separator is all the little things. And so we've just talked about the work that it takes, the sacrifice that it takes to get where you want to go. And so like I said, we've talked about this stuff, but I really think that that's what a separator is the sacrifice on little things.
Ah, well said. And that is so true, you know. And of course, Jackson used, you know, he took online courses in high school where he could actually do his schooling, of course, from home, but also used it every day to go work out every day and kind of get a feel for what the professional life is going to be, because that's what it's about. And that, to me, that's the biggest adjustment from high school kids going into pro ball, where you're playing and you're going to the ballpark every day. Even for college kids that play 4 times, sometimes 5 times a week, but 7 times a week is different. And you talk to college kids that go play pro ball the first year, and it's like, wow, it's such a grind. And I think Jackson got a good taste of that with his father. You know, his father recognized obviously something special in Jackson a long time ago and said, all right, if you really want to do this, this is how we're going to prepare for it, because this is what's going to separate you from the rest of the guys.
Luke Raley into left. Austin Hayes is there, and that's out number 2. Raley retired after his 2nd inning home run. So 8 out of 9 retired now for Tyler Wells. About to throw his 60th pitch of the night.
Yeah, he's been down more. He's been getting ahead a little bit more. I thought early in the ball game the fastball was elevated, the slider was elevated. I think he's still feeling for that changeup a little bit. He's thrown some changeups.
Two gone for Bethancourt. Missed with a curveball. Haven't seen too many of those tonight. 9 curveballs, and the Rays have not swung at any. 8 of the 9 curveballs have been balls. Fourth inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by Toyota RAV4. Now is a great time to reserve your new Toyota. Visit your Baltimore area dealer to learn more. Toyota, let's go places. Mike Malinsky's waiting on a new batch of baseballs right now. He's got them. Greatest 1-out single. Wells has retired 8 of the last 9, starting with a Bethancourt strikeout in the 2nd. He'll go with a fastball. Bethancourt's right on it, but Mullins is also right on it. Back-to-back zeros for Tyler Wells. DraftKings Sportsbook has the live totals line set to the over-under 10.5. We're at 5 runs right now through 3.5 innings. 10.5. The under is the favorite. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner also of Major League Baseball. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team and get $100 in free bets. No matter what, use code DIAMOND when you sign up today. Beautiful sunset here in Baltimore. Always is around this time of year.
Yeah, we have been fortunate the last 3 days. We've dodged some weather.
Yeah, there's been some rain before the game, rain during the game, but not heavy. Hopefully we'll continue to have another clear and lovely night tonight. Humidity's dropped a bit. I always feel happy when I don't have to take my dog Shep out for a walk at like 6 in the morning. If you can wait a little bit longer. Ooh, broken back ground ball to third from Hayes. Diaz throws him out.
Boy, that thing exploded.
Kind of looks like you could still hit with that thing.
Yeah, Drew Rasmussen runs. This is a slider. And he gets it off the end of the bat. That's what blew it up. Austin Hayes a little bit out in front. Get out in front, you get it off the end of the bat. And you get it that far off the end of the bat, it is going to shatter.
You could hold the bulk of that broken bat at the bottom, and you'd be about where Anthony Rizzo chokes up with 2 strikes.
Seems like he's holding the head of the bat.
So first pitch out for Rasmussen.
Well, you remember Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds choked up big time. He stood right on top of the plate.
I do remember Barry Bonds. He was a pretty good player.
Yes, he was.
Did you ever face him?
I did. I faced him in spring training one year, only in spring training. And he impressed me, to say the least. You know, some hitters will adjust from series to series. So if you work them one way in a series, you can, and if you're making your pitches, you can have some success off of them. Those are the average hitters. And then the good hitters will adjust from at bat to at bat. So if you work them one way and you have success, they'll kind of go up there and they'll look for that sequence of pitches or how you approached them. But Barry Bonds, I remember in spring training, I got him out twice with changeups, and he was ahead in the count. And then the third time, I got him in the same count and threw the same changeup, and it went a long way. And it was actually a pretty good changeup, but you could tell that he said, "Okay, you've done this to me twice. I'm gonna make a quicker adjustment," and he did. But he had a lot of home runs in his career.
But the one off you doesn't count. Spring training,
That's right.
so it didn't happen. Rougned Odor with an RBI Baltimore chop in the second through the left side. And Odor on a fastball down the middle. Punches one into center field. 2 for 2 night for Rugi.
Yeah, Rugi needs that. Came in hitting 197. You mentioned the 10 home runs, 36 RBIs, 37 now with his RBI single in the second. We're on time with that one for sure.
Had a 1 for 12 homestand, a 2 for 2 night, and now Ramon Urias. First pitch fly out in the second inning. Urias has only played in 66 games this season, and yet you go to Fangraphs and their wins above replacement calculus, a conglomerate that puts offense, defense, pitching into one number. He and Adley Rutschman been the second most valuable Orioles by wins above replacement, only behind Mullins, part because of his great defense. But that's pretty eye-opening. Rutschman 51 games and has provided that much value with his pitch framing, with his defense, with his offense. And then Urias, who was always really steady defensively this year, but has all of a sudden soared into the Oriole lead in batting average, in slugging percentage, in OPS.
Yeah, anytime you take a middle infielder and you stick him at one of the corner positions, it solidifies your defense. So he's always been good on defense. No matter where you put him, he's good on defense. But last year was the first year he got everyday at-bats at the big league level. He shined. A little bit of a rough start for him this year. Not quite what he did last year. Then spent a little time on the IL. But boy, since coming off the IL, he's been better than good.
It's a special day for his family yesterday. He and his brother both had game-winning RBIs. This was the game-winning RBI pair for Ramon.
Yeah, I tell you, Ramon Urias last night on an 0-2 count. That's what got me. 0-2 count. Fastball in the inner third, and he would have none of it. Colin Poche tried to get it inside into 424 feet. It went, and that was his 11th long ball of the year. Quick. He is quick to the inside part.
I was surprised when he told us after the game that he was thinking there was a good chance he'd get a fastball even on 0-2.
Yeah.
Felt like the Rays had attacked him with fastballs, and he was not shocked.
I like that. He stuck with his approach even when he was so far down in the count.
His brother Luis had a walk-off sacrifice fly for Milwaukee yesterday against Minnesota. By the way, Urias in an 0-2 count this season. Saw this before the game. When he puts a ball in play or when an at-bat ends on 0-2, including a strikeout, 7 for 26, 2 homers this year. The league average on 0-2 is not 7 for 26 level good. Throw behind at first. Odor is safe. the league average auto to 156. Urias 267.
Yeah, when a hitter gets over the fear of hitting with 2 strikes, that's to me when they become dangerous. A lot of guys don't want to get 2 strikes because they're worried about striking out. But guys like Ramon Urias, DJ LeMahieu, and others that are comfortable with 2-strike counts, to me, they're the toughest ones.
Mateo on deck. Part of this 8 and 9 combination that has lit up opposing pitching staffs in the last couple of weeks. Odor's going to run on 3-2, and Urias flails at it to get a piece. On the ground at third, and Odor keeps going. He is out. A little over eager, Rougned Odor. And an odd double play will end the 4th.
Well, the Orioles had an odd double play early in the ball game. This is pretty odd here. Rougned Odor tried to take an extra 90 feet. I tell you what, Isaac Paredes just nails him. A nice tag by Walls.
Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC. PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier. And by CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. Tyler Wells, after a rocky start, 2 home runs, 4 hits in the first 6 batters, has settled in nicely. Here's the pitch usage tonight. Mainly 4-seamers, but has worked in everything. For you, through 4 innings, what do you think's been his best pitch?
I still think the fastball and the slider. He's been a heavy fastball slider. I think if he can get the breaking ball and the changeup going, and I think he'll need to as he goes through the lineup for the 3rd time here, coming up in a couple of batters. But to me, it's been pretty heavy fastball slider. Changeup really hasn't been a great pitch for him.
Into right from Josh Lowe, and that is off the wall in play. Lowe took a fastball way inside and nearly hit it out. He'll settle for a leadoff double.
Yeah, we'll see what this fastball was. Yeah, Adley Rutschman set up on the outside part. This ball's right on the inside. A nice job by Josh Lowe to quickly get his hands in. Put a barrel on this one and high up off the wall. Kicks by Santander, so a leadoff double for Josh Lowe here in the top of the 5th inning.
About 22.83 feet up the wall. Rose will take it. Low with a raise. 6th hit. Here's a bunt foul from Walls. They don't do it much, Tampa Bay, as you might imagine. Only 5 sacrifice bunts on the year. Phillips has 4. Lowe has 1.
Well, Taylor Walls hitting 173, and of course the Rays have been struggling scoring runs here as of late, since the All-Star break. And it's been a struggle most of the year. I mean, their first 76 games, a little bit below 4 runs per game. They thought they had it figured out right before the break. You go back and look their last 16 games before the break, they were averaging right at 5.5 runs per game. They were rolling, but then when they came back from the All-Star break, it has not been the same.
No bunt here, just under our booth. I'm telling you, I was ready for that.
Were you coming to get that one?
I was leaning forward. It's the first foul ball I've leaned forward on all year. I've steeled myself for this moment.
We're going to have to re-rack the tape on that one. I really want to see if you were charged.
No, I'm serious. I tell you, usually the chair is.
Oh, I have seen you. I have seen you retreat several times.
This is the first time I was ready. It's taken until game 98.
I'm not buying it.
I'm right next to you.
I'm not buying it.
Come on, man. Use your peripheral vision.
I was focused on that white object coming at us.
Yeah, so was I. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Inside low to Walls, ball 1. .67 pitches for Wells. Usually pitch count has been in the 80s this year. 81 his last time in 5 innings. That may be as good a changeup as we have seen tonight. Strikeout number 5 for Tyler.
Boy, that's huge. Because Walls' one job was try to get a ground ball to the right side to get that runner over to third base, and that was definitely his best changeup of the night. That's some really good action. It started almost in the heart of the plate, but he runs it down and away from Walls, and a huge strikeout.
5 Ks for Tyler. 2 shy of a career high. Yandy Diaz for a 3rd time. This is the player the Rays probably would have picked in a runner at second, nobody out spot. He hits a lot of ground balls. Good contact hitter to all fields. Single and a strikeout this evening. Brandon Hyde is just called for time. Brandon Hyde, Brian Ebel, and Chris Holt are all coming out to the mound, and Wells is hunched over.
Yeah, I saw him reach for his left. I thought it was his left side at first. Yep, right there. You hope it's just a cramp. Obviously, it's hot out. It is humid out. Yeah, right there. You see him bend over right there. He's hurting. And he's not going to stay in the game. And the best thing you can hope for is a cramp, because that's kind of in that side rib cage, oblique area, if you will.
Brian Ebel, head athletic trainer, walks Wells off the field. And in a season where Wells has not missed a turn in the rotation due to injury.
Yeah, he's hurting too.
He's going to head right into the clubhouse. Dylan Tate will quickly get into the game. He'll have time to warm up as Wells leaves with an injury. The third #1 overall pick in Orioles history was introduced before the game today. Stillwater High School shortstop Jackson Holliday officially signed and was presented with his Orioles jersey. Mike Elias, O's general manager, could not be more thrilled to add Jackson to the organization.
I've seen a lot firsthand of you know, the work that Adley Rutschman has done and in his path up here, and other players, and you know how much that takes, and I'm very confident that Jackson's going to be right alongside the best in terms of applying himself and doing the best he can. He's on the field, you know, I think we're all familiar with his profile, but view him as a 5-tool shortstop. You know, anytime you're saying that, I think it's a pretty exciting package, and he above average in all 5 phases of the game: running, throwing, fielding, hitting, power. That said, you know, he's got the minor leagues ahead of him and all the challenges that I talked about, and you know, we let players have their own development path and kind of tell us when they're ready for the next step. But he's going to be starting his career in Florida tomorrow. He will be with our Florida Complex team in Sarasota at our great facility there, and you know, we'll take it from there. But I imagine he's going to spend the majority of the summer there, if not all the summer there. There's not much season left, and you know, we'll hope to get him in some game action as soon as possible.
There's Jackson right now, taking the game in from his suite. Family is there. There's his dad, Matt, sitting in front. And yeah, again, a special day for us. Jackson Holliday The third #1 pick in Orioles history. Ben, you were the first. Adley Rutschman was the second. And let's hope that Jackson Holliday is the last for a while.
The last one for a long time. That's what we can hope for. And we saw Scott Boras sitting there, too. Of course, he represented 2 of the 3 first picks in Oriole history.
Oh, he's got a Ripken shirt. Oh, the kid's adjusted well.
That's a pretty good start for him.
When you're an Orioles infielder on the left side, when you're an Orioles shortstop, that's a pretty good guy to emulate your game after.
Well, it's time for our MedStar pitching change. It's Dylan Tate. Easy access to the same care the Orioles trust. Visit medstarhealth.org to find care now. MedStar Health. It's how we treat people. Yeah. There's Dylan Tate's numbers on the year, working his 43rd game. Very good ERA, 2.35 in 46 innings of work, 40 punch outs, so a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's outstanding as well. And opponents only hitting .213 off the right-hander, Dylan Tate.
So Tyler Wells left the game after grabbing his left side.
Well, let's take a look at Tyler Wells' line. 4 1/3. He worked 6 hits, 3 runs, did not walk a batter, and punched out 5. And after giving up, 4 base hits in the first 6 batters that he faced, including 2 home runs, he settled in nicely and retired 10 of the final 12 that he faced.
So we will hope for the best regarding Tyler Wells, who's had such a great season. So important for this team. He's gone deeper into games than maybe was the plan. A lot of folks weren't sure if he should be a starter. He moved from the back end of the bullpen into the rotation, did so seamlessly. Tonight his 20th start. He's made every turn in the rotation. The only other Oriole to make every turn in the rotation, not miss a start due to injury this year, Jordan Lyles, who only missed a start, was pushed back a couple of days because of a stomach bug.
Yeah, this is bad news, potentially. Tyler Wells has been the most consistent starter by far for the Orioles this year. Or you always cringe when you see the side. You know, the obliques become more and more common, unfortunately. And if it is an oblique, we'll wait and see. Sometimes those can take a while.
3-1 for Yandy Diaz. That is socked to the right side by Diaz to the wall, and Josh Lowe will score. Diaz trying to make it 2. Head first dive, and he is in there with a run scoring double to greet Tate and give Tampa Bay a 2-run lead.
Yandy Diaz can hit. Came in hitting .289, 2 base hits, and a nice swing here. Just an inside out swing and a laser down the right field line. Santander quickly gets it in, but not in time. The Rays tack on another one after a ball hit down the line at 103.
Had his 23 start streak of reaching base snap yesterday. 2 for 3 tonight, and that closes the line on Wells. 4 1/3, 4 earned. Tyler Wells gave up 4 earned runs to Tampa Bay first game of the year. Then allowed 3 runs or less his next 17 starts. 5 runs, 5 innings last time out, and 4 runs, 4 1/3 tonight.
And as good as he's been, the Rays really have had his number this year for whatever reason.
Do you have a sense of why the Rays have hit him so well?
I just think he's not had his good stuff. I mean, you only have your really good stuff for about 1/3 of the time, and then it's average stuff, then it's below average stuff. I feel like, you know, going back to his first start of the year, it's a kind of team that offensively normally they're a lot better than what they are this year, but still they do take advantage of mistakes as well as anybody does.
Good slider from Tate to the back door. He strikes out low.
Yeah, Dylan Tate, a really good backdoor slider. To see where Adley Rutschman was set up on the outside part, perfectly delivered.
Rosarena now, and Tate goes up and in with a fastball. Not the first time we've seen the Orioles do that to a Rosarena in the series. 4 for 11, all singles have kept him in the yard.
That's kind of what they've done to him in this series. The hits he has collected, though, have been balls out over the plate, a little bit away from him. That's typically where he likes the ball. But the Orioles have had good success when they've stayed inside with fastballs.
Right down the middle with a fast one there. He was such a good fastball hitter a season ago at Rosarena, and has not been the same kind of year in that respect.
No, I think teams recognize he was such a good fastball hitter, but he's a good fastball hitter with balls out over the plate on the outer third. And I think teams are now starting to work the fastball in the inside part.
Slugging percentage against fastballs has dropped this year 143 points. Tate's 2-2. He'll go to the fastball, get him. No match for Dylan Tate. Well, here they are at Oriole Park. A special day. Adley, Ben, and Jackson, the 3-1-1s. Most fans join us in honoring two-time World Series champion Boog Powell as the O's and Red Sox face off Saturday, August 20th at 4:05. First 20,000 fans 15 and over get a Boog bobblehead. Tickets are as low as $15 at Orioles.com/tickets. And you know what you can do with your Boog bobblehead, Ben?
I could put it next to my Cedric Mullins bobblehead.
Well, you could take it out to Boog's Barbecue as well. You could do that too, though. Your Boog bobblehead, your Ced bobblehead, maybe even your Big Ben bobblehead. We suspect Boog may be watching tonight. If so, we're always shouting out Boog. Bobblehead day soon.
Love me some Boog's Barbecue.
1-1 for Mateo here in the 5th. I'm thinking afternoon game tomorrow. I think we might have some pregame Boogs.
I'm all in for that.
Well, Tyler Wells has exited this game with what appeared to be an injury to his left side. Dylan Tate is on. Drew Rasmussen still out there for Tampa after 4 innings. 2-2 for Mateo. Mullins and Rutschman to follow here in the 5th. Jorge struck out on a low slider his first time up. Got a high fastball here. Game between these teams this year. The season series all knotted up 7 apiece.
Yeah, but a little bit different this year on the scoreboard versus last year.
Last season it was all Tampa Bay, almost genuinely all Tampa Bay. 18 out of 19 wins. Spencer Watkins had the only Oriole victory down in St. Pete. Strike 3 to Mateo. 4th strikeout for Rasmussen.
Well, Rasmussen throws these breaking balls, both the cutter and the slider, just as much as he'll throw the fastball too. And that's a really good slider on the outside part.
Well, it doesn't take a genius to figure out why the Orioles have been better against the Rays this year. They've scored a little more, yes. Runners in scoring position a lot better. But they have shaved the ERA by about 4 earned runs per game.
Yep. That will do it. That'll give you a chance. You pitch and you play defense and you're in a lot of ball games.
So the strikeout to walk ratio too. I mean, how many times for the Orioles get a lead on the Rays last year and then walk after walk after walk, and then the Rays had hit a big home run, big double. It's not been the case this season. Mullins, a push bunt to first. Paredes is right there. That's out number 2. And once more, we go to Brett Hollander.
Yeah, Kevin, earlier today I asked Adley Rutschman if he would offer advice to Jackson Holliday, a fellow 1-1 overall, much like Ben McDonald. And he made it very clear Jackson has a ton of good mentors and people around him. But he said the one thing for him was try not to compartmentalize things and not let anything get too much to where he wasn't enjoying the moment. Wherever he was, whatever the stop was, whatever the at-bat was or pitch, that it was about that moment and nothing else.
That's a great point. And we've seen Adley do that. You know, that's what impresses me. The many things, right, is he's been able to separate the catching from his at-bats. And he's kept it simple as he could. But when you look, I see a lot of similarities in Adley Rutschman and Jackson Holliday. I see two guys that are going to be the first ones to the ballpark every day, the last ones to leave. They're going to outwork everybody, and that's what you want to see. And I think Matt Holliday said it best when he said, you know, what's going to separate you from all the other guys that are getting a paycheck too? What's the difference between you and everybody else? Can you do the little things? And those little things include outworking everybody.
See what Adley's done in his recent spell in a terrific rookie season. 6 straight games where he's reached base multiple times, 2 behind Mr. Bobblehead. And he's already been on base once tonight with a base hit off of his college teammate Rasmussen. And after 8 straight strikes, he'll finally take one. That's a thick beard there for Drew Rasmussen. Beard befitting a Beaver. 2 Oregon State teammates. Up and in. What did that hit? It hit Rutschman. He's on base for the 2nd time for a 7th straight game. And they're not the best of friends right now, Drew and Adley.
Like the back, that was the back elbow, I thought. 4-seamer riding it up and in. Yep, right off the back elbow.
So on this homestand, or in this series, beg your pardon, 2 for 6, 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches. So Rutschman has reached base 6 out of 10 times. Here's Mancini, who reached base his last time with a 3rd inning walk. Tying run to the plate in the Oriole 5th. Drills this one the other way. Raley will not get there. There's a base hit for Trey, and Rutschman darts to 3rd. And the throw gets away. Hops off the mound. Adley is safe at home. Trey is safe at 2nd. Tampa Bay's just kicking the thing around. Great base running by Rutschman to recognize the wayward throw. Trey snaps the 0 for 26, and the O's get back within 1.
Oh, the little things sometimes, right? Hitting cutoff guys and then recognizing errant throws. And Trey Mancini, a nice job, just kind of slices one down the right field line. Raley gets to it, throws it in, but watch him miss the cutoff guy right there. Gets by the cutoff guy, and when it does, Adley Rutschman had made his turn at 3rd base, picked up the throw, and he scampers home. So he puts on the brakes for now. He's reading the throw. When he sees it kicks by, he takes an extra 90 feet and barely beats the throw home. In the meantime, Mancini goes from 1st to 2nd.
And the refrigerator is off the back for Trey after an 0 for 26 streak. He gets the base hit, on base twice tonight. And the Orioles, after taking 3 extra bases on Luke Raley in the first 4 innings, score on an E9 from Raley, who robbed a home run yesterday, hit a home run in the 2nd today, and has had a night to forget in the outfield since. That will kickstart the Rays bullpen. Ryan Thompson getting ready for Tampa Bay. So the tying run at second for Santander. Ball one. How long is the Luke Raley highlight reel of this series going to take? Sliding into the plate against Rutschman, the first game, a home run, the doubles, the E9, the home run rob.
Yeah, and it wasn't a terrible throw in, just that it short hopped the cutoff guy. Wow.
Wow, second hit batter of the inning right off the knee. Santander's hit for the 9th time this year.
Boy, you got to think that's just about the end for Rasmussen. That's what he's averaged all year long, 4 2/3. That looks like what he's going to get tonight. This time it's looked like a hard slider or a cutter, and that's off the back knee of Anthony Santander. So he gets Rutschman with a fastball on the inside part, gets Santander.
And that's how he feels about it. He had hit one of the first 339 batters he faced this year. He hits 2 of 3 here. Rays are going to the pen in a 1-run game.
Rasmussen is out 4 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which are earned. He's responsible for runners on first and second. Only walked 1 but hit 2 and struck out 4. 75 pitches, 50 of them were strikes, and Rasmussen still not happy. Boy, he's shaking his head. He knows just 1 more out he would have qualified for the W, but he won't get his chance tonight. It'll be up to Ryan Thompson, making his 39th appearance of the year. 4.01 ERA. Struck out 29 in 33 2/3. Opponent's hitting .220 off the big right-hander. Ryan Thompson is going to show you a little bit different arm slot. Right side arm, sinker, slider, change up as well, but heavy on the sinker and the slider.
Yeah, it was an up and down 27th birthday for Rasmussen. A good start, but gave up runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and now in the 5th. And both teams are into the bullpen in the 5th inning. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that stare. Joe Rasmussen got the first 2 outs in the 5th and then hit Rutschman. Mancini with a single plus an E9 to score Rutschman. Santander hit by a pitch. And Thompson, who's thrown 12 straight scoreless outings in a row, will come on to check Mountcastle. No earned runs in the last 14. Mountcastle up the middle, softly hit. Who's got it? It is the shortstop, Walls. Nearly collided with Lau. He got the out. O's get a run back. Back at 4th we go. This coverage of the game. Let's check out our T-Mobile coverage cam, and let's go back to the 1st inning.
Yeah, just fly ball out toward right center field. Cedric Mullins is tracking it, and he realized way too far off the base. How about this throw in a nice stretch by Mountcastle? And T. Wells was fired up at the time. That's Cedric Mullins' 7th outfield assist of the year. That ties Austin Hayes to the Oriole League. Matter of fact, the Orioles are the only team in baseball to have 2 players with at least 7 outfield assists.
And Mullins has already tied a career high. Another season of Gold Glove caliber defense. Very much hope he is recognized this season at this pace. At least he deserves it. G-Man Choi drags one foul, 0-2 against Dylan Tate. 22 outfield assists for the Orioles, which would be tied for 2nd in the AL, tied for 3rd in the majors. Depends on what the other teams have done tonight. But it came into the night in 4th. Had an outfield assist from Santander yesterday, from Mancini on Sunday. Troy hit himself. Let's go to Brett Hollander. Brett.
Kevin, Tyler Wells exited tonight's game of the 5th inning with lower back discomfort. We're hoping to have more from both Tyler and Orioles manager Brandon Hyde after this one concludes on O's Extra Post Game presented by PNC.
Okay, Brett, thank you. You're surprised to see that, Ben, based on what you saw, lower back discomfort?
No, not really. I mean, I know that's what they're calling it now. Who knows? I don't know what area that he was holding, you know, and so it could be anything from low back to cramp to oblique. It could be a lot of those things.
Orioles have had such good fortune with health this season, even after they lost John Means for the year in the second week, eventually to Tommy John surgery. But this obviously would be a significant one.
Yeah, so if he can't make his next start, you start to think, okay, who's next? You know, is it Kyle Bradish? Is it DL Hall? Could it be Matt Harvey? You know, those seem like the three options.
Well, your starting pitchers on the 40-man. You mentioned Hall, who's yet to make his big league debut. Has had an awesome stretch in AAA, though just 2/3 of an inning yesterday. Got hit very hard. Bruce Zimmerman is on the 40-man as well. He spent a lot of time in the majors this year. That's yanked foul, 3-2. Kyle Bradish should be back from rehab soon. A slight shoulder issue. It's taken a little bit longer than you might have thought, but the Orioles are playing it cautiously with him.
Yeah, and the truth is there wouldn't he need to rush Bradish back because the 5 guys in the rotation throw the ball pretty well. It really wasn't a place for Kyle Bradish.
Choi is just wearing out that first base line. That's a fair ball. And that's an out. 9 pitches to get him. Well, tomorrow it is Mo Gabba Day here at the ballpark. A special afternoon for all of us at 12:35. Fans who purchase tickets at Orioles.com can choose to add on a donation to support the Johns Hopkins Children's Center and the Orioles Charitable Foundation. While match fan donations, net proceeds benefit the Johns Hopkins Children's Center, providing pediatric expertise and care in about 40 different specialties. Go to Orioles.com/Mo Gabba Day. Learn more about tomorrow's festivities. You can buy tickets there as well. Going to be an awfully special day, a very emotional day for us. Orioles Hall of Famer Mo Gabba was our second ever Wild Bill Hagee Award recipient. One of our most devoted fans in the history of the Orioles. By the way, at the Jimmy's famous seafood concession stand downstairs, we still have the Mo Gabba shrimp platter going, and $1 from every shrimp platter sold will also benefit the Johns Hopkins Children's Center. We'll be getting some of that in the booth tomorrow. Very excited to try it, and you all can get it tomorrow. Jimmy's concession stand. We had a great Jimmy's meal delivered earlier in the homestand with the crab cake.
Crab cakes. So you're saying it could be a very good food day tomorrow. Boog's barbecue early, Jimmy's seafood late.
I'm saying
that's a pretty good combination.
I'm saying eat a light breakfast. You know,
maybe even no breakfast.
But it is an afternoon game tomorrow, 12:35. Jordan Lyles will start for the Orioles.
Have the Rays named? We're thinking Yarbrough, but I don't think it's official yet.
It's not official yet.
Could be Yarbrough, could be an opener and then Yarbrough.
Called third strike. Paredes down looking.
Yeah, Brendan Hyde is out. Looked like a little front door breaking ball. Maybe it didn't come all the way back, but you'll take it. Adley Rutschman steals yet another one.
And that'll be it for Dylan Tate. Nick Vespi coming in to face a lefty, Luke Raley. Nice job by Tate.
Gave up a 1 hit, no runs, didn't walk a batter, punched out 3, and now it's time for the left-hander Nick Vespi making his 14th appearance. Just recalled the other day a 3-0 record. In 15 innings of work, he has struck out 17, and boy, he was outstanding in game 1 of this series. Came in with a runner on first base and nobody out, punched out the side, struck out 4 of the 6 batters he faced in a scoreless 1 2/3 innings of work.
Dylan Tate really good. 5 batters faced. Did give up an RBI double and an inherited run scored, but 3 strikeouts and a ground out after that. Another big night needed for the Orioles bullpen. Tyler Wells exited after 4 1/3 innings with lower back discomfort. And Vespi with ball 1 to Luke Raley. Getting in a third 1 hit, 3 punch outs for Tate. 27 pitches, 19 were strikes. Raley hooks one into right and continues his series of everything. Off the wall, Santander will throw it in. And a good decision by Raley to hold at first.
Luke Raley putting on a show. 3 hits in the first 2 games. 2 hits tonight. 105 off the bat on that one. And he sprayed it around too, from left center field all the way down the right field line.
Vespi will get a right-hander here, Christian Bethancourt. He's got a lefty on deck and low. Start Bethancourt with a strike. Talking to Brandon Hyde before the game yesterday, and he said the Orioles wanted Vespi up for this series when they had the open bullpen spot because of all the lefties in the Tampa Bay lineup. And because he can do that. A lot of 40-man relief right-handed options in AAA. But Vespi, who's pitched so well in AAA and really for the most part very well here, had one of his best games as a big leaguer on Monday. Got him on a cutter. And Vespi strikes out Bethancourt, the Orioles' 9th strikeout of the game. DraftKings do-ups. We'll look at each player's odds to get on base when we come back. The DraftKings Sportsbook makes it easy to bet on which player you think will get on base. Download the app and get your bets in now for Hayes, Odor, and Urias. Here are your live odds for the Orioles to get on base in the 6th inning. Austin Hayes plus 205. Rougned Odor 225. And no surprise, Ramon Urias has the best odds given his hot streak of late. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And this week, new customers can bet $5 on any team and get $100 in free bets no matter what. Use code DIAMOND when you sign up.
Well, this is feeling like another typical Orioles game, right? Down early, hang around, keep it close. Bullpen comes in, does its job. But is there some magic in the bats toward the latter part of the game?
Last night was the Orioles' 22nd comeback win of the year. Out of 49 games, they've won, period. Austin Hayes leading off in the 6th against Ryan Thompson. Hayes takes a strike. Hayes won this battle in one of the Orioles' best at-bats of the year, May 22nd. Those were down 2 out, 2 on in the 9th. About to be hit with a massive rainstorm, and Hayes came off the bench for a pinch hit game-tying single off of Thompson. Here, a bouncing ball to Walls, a low throw, and a good scoop by Paredes. Once more, it is time for us to check in with Brett Hollander.
Kevin, thank you. And I think this is an indication that the Orioles franchise is heading in the right direction on a day when they introduced Jackson Holliday as a new member of already the game's best farm system. Here's what's happened so far tonight in the minor leagues. Gunnar Henderson, the 42nd pick back in 2019. He's doubled and homered in AAA. Colton Cowser, last year's first-round pick, he had a grand slam in AA Bowie, and this is really great news. Heston Kjerstad, the second overall pick back in 2020, he had his first home run of the season for Aberdeen. He had hit one in Delmarva, but his first home run in high A ball. All of that tonight on evening when they introduce Holliday officially into the fold.
That is so cool, Brett. What a great night on the Orioles farm system. Rougned Odor right back over the base here. Connor Norby's homered as well, the Orioles' second-round pick in 2021. So
yeah, he's starting to get the long ball working too. I saw him in the college game, or college series last year at ECU, and I tell you what, he can play some second base on defense, and there's a real hitter for you. Really good bat-to-ball skills. Walked way more than he struck out in college last year, and he's starting to hit the long ball too.
So this year's first-round pick is here, officially signed. Last year's first and second-round picks home runs. 2020's first-round pick home run. 2019's second-round pick home run. Just saying, I think Adley Rutschman's got something to do in his next at-bat. Although he's been on base twice today, so he scored a couple runs too.
He's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But we'll never turn down a home run.
Mike Elias waxed poetic a little bit on this before the game. So did Brandon High. The different shape the Orioles are in compared to their last 1-1 press conference. Well, that's not nice for Bethencourt, is it? Uh-oh.
Got it twice.
Double shot.
Yeah.
But just to finish the thought, when Adley Rutschman was introduced 3 years ago, there was really a burden of expectation on him because this was a pretty weak farm system. And 3 years later, with another #1 overall pick, it just feels like Jackson Holliday is now one of many great players for Mike and for Sig Mejdal.
Well, Mike and Sig and the boys did exactly what they said they were going to do. They were going to start from the ground floor, and they were going to build this minor league system and build it into a juggernaut that it appears to be right now.
There's a good slider. Thompson, 3 groundouts to short and then 1 strikeout. An inning and a third scoreless for him.
Time now for the MLB update brought to you by PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier. Taking a look at scores tonight around Major League Baseball. Boston ahead of Cleveland 6-5. That at Fenway. in the top of the 7th, and the Subway Series continues in Queens. Mets 2, Yankees nothing. That game in the 7th. Coming up on O's Extra Post Game after this one at Camden Yards concludes, we'll get an update on the injury to Tyler Wells. He left this game in the 5th inning due to lower back discomfort. We'll have the latest there. Plus, the Orioles tonight aggressive on the base paths, and we'll hear from the skipper, Brandon Hyde. All that and more on O's Extra Post Game presented by PNC. Kevin?
And Brett, just one more update to tack onto yours from the last half inning. Gunnar Henderson has homered again.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good night working. 3 for 3, a couple of homers and a double. The baby birds are doing it tonight.
One and one, Nick Vespi to Josh Lowe. Rays have led this game basically from the get-go. 4th batter of the game, G-Man Choi homered. Tampa Bay has led 2-0, 3-0. O's got one in the 2nd, one in the 3rd. Each team scored in the 5th. So the Orioles going to have to come back again, which they did last night, which they did on Saturday against the Yankees. Brooks Raley getting hot for Tampa Bay. But a familiar formula this year. Orioles fall behind. Bullpen keeps them in it. And the O's come back. Low the other way. Into the glove of Mullins. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Buy and manage game tickets. Unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Two outs for Nick Vespi in relief. And ball one to start the switch hitting Walls. No one warming in the Baltimore bullpen. Haven't seen Nick break out the changeup yet. He said he was messing around with it in Norfolk his last stint there. Then a cutter slider curve combination, and this is first big league year.
Yeah, hard to break out a new pitch in a one-run game.
That's a 4-pitch walk to the struggling Walls. First walk of the game handed out by Oriole pitching. Chris Holt's staff only walked one Ray last night. One walk, 9 punch-outs for the O's tonight, but Tampa Bay with a couple of home runs. Strike one to Diaz. Two hard hit balls for Yandy Diaz tonight.
Now Taylor Walls will run. 6 stolen bases on the year. Now Vespi, obviously being left-handed, may have something to say about that.
Diaz into left, hangs up for Hayes. Out number 2.
Boy, Diaz continues to hit the barrel.
Brandon Lau coming up. Lefty-lefty matchup. And Chris Holt's going to discuss this with Nick Vespi.
Yeah, this might be one of these ones just to give Felix Bautista, who just got up and started getting loose at Oriole bullpen, a few more pitches just in case he is needed here in the 7th.
Arozarena on deck. That would seem to be a good matchup for Bautista.
Feels like the tomato plants out there beyond the 410 sign are really, really growing. They're hitting their peak right now. Look at there. That one's ripe.
Yes.
It needs a picking.
I didn't see Nicole today. I meant to ask her about the growth of the plants. We'll have to get a hold of Nicole Sherry, Orioles groundskeeper, tomorrow. But the tomato plants are in fine form right now behind the bullpen.
We may have some cucumbers next year, some squash for you, maybe some eggplant.
How about cilantro? You a fan of cilantro?
No, I can't get into. I mean, it tastes like soap every time I put it in my mouth. I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know. I get a soap taste.
It's one of those foods that apparently is down the middle. Either it tastes like soap to you, or it's brilliant. To me, I love it. It's a great flavor, but I know a lot of friends that say what you said.
Yeah.
So maybe no cilantro. Maybe we'll keep it more universal with the squash and the tomatoes. Everybody loves a good summer squash.
Cucumber.
I'd say not a big cucumber fan, actually. I'm a zucchini guy.
I really don't like any of it. And I grew up with a garden. My dad had gardens every year, and I used to be out there hoeing and making rows and planting and watering and fertilizing. But I'm not into tomatoes.
But not eating.
Now, fried squash. If you fry it, I like fried squash.
Grilled squash?
Zucchini. I mean, I'll eat it. I don't crave it.
One and two for Lau. So no zucchini with your boogs tomorrow. What you're saying? No side of grilled veggies.
No.
Ball still lingering at first on a 1-2. Espy will throw over. Brandon Lau this season just a .270 on base percentage against lefties, but does have some power. 3 home runs, 35 at bats. So it's been fairly all or nothing for him left on left. Last season only hit .198 against lefties, .261 on base. Did have 10 homers. So likely you'll get him out or he'll take you out.
Well, Walls to be moving now. 3-2 count, 2 out. And this is going to be the last batter for Vespi. Rosarena on deck. Felix Bautista appears to be loose.
There goes Walls. There's a grounder foul. About as hard as Vespi will throw it. Got up to 90.
And Lau a little bit out in front, which tells me Vespi's probably going to go to that breaking ball.
You have a preference here, curveball or slider?
I just think it's going to be whichever one he feels more confident. I think either one will work if he gets it down and away, just like that.
You wanted it down and away. You got it down and away. The Orioles are on the comeback trail once more. Down 3 early. They've sliced it to 1 late. This is where they love to be, it seems. Ready to strike against the Tampa Bay bullpen and a very good reliever, Brooks Raley.
Yeah, Brooks Raley making his 36th appearance. 10 holes, 2.9 ERA. That's outstanding. 31 innings of work, 43 strikeouts. That's big time. 193 opponent's batting average against the left-hander. Brooks Raley.
And 0 home runs allowed. Jorge Mateo start. Raley is one of those high spin rate artists, and his fastball not hard, but it's a lot of spin. Great slider as well. He allows some of the softest contact in baseball. If there is a little bit of a notch in the armor, walk some batters. 2-1 to Mateo here.
Well, Ryan Thompson was outstanding. 1 1/3 perfect innings for him. Punched out 1.
The Rays are going to be without Matt Whistler for a little while. Placed on the injured list today. They have Jason Adam well rested. Right now it's Raley as Mateo takes him to third. Off the chest of Diaz. No play. Jorge Mateo aboard at first. Maybe not there for long to lead off the Orioles 7th.
This ball was a rocket. And I mean 106 off the bat by Jorge Mateo. I'm sure it'll go down as a hit, or it should. Little cut fastball. Mateo on time barrels it up and just chews up Diaz. And once it hopped right there, no chance you're throwing out Jorge Mateo.
Tonight's powerful connection brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Join the millions already saving by adding Xfinity Mobile to their internet. The American League stolen base leader at first. Cedric Mullins with a fly ball to center field. Low with room.
Tag up.
Mateo's going to try to go for second. Here's the throw. He is in there. He took off a long way from second with a head-first dive, and Mateo a little bit slow, but he is back on his feet after a long flyout.
Yeah, so a productive at bat by Cedric Mullins. Watch Mateo, right part of your screen. So he takes off getting halfway is what you typically get. But when he saw the back of Josh Lowe, so Josh Lowe turned his back. He knew the ball was all the way up against the track. He tags up and easily into second base.
By the way, E5 against Diaz is the call there.
Oh, wow. I have a feeling that might be one of the ones we said 2 weeks from now gets changed.
Yeah, maybe 2 minutes from now.
106 off the bat in third.
So last night, Mateo stole third against a lefty in Colin Poche. And the Rays are going to play Lau right between Mateo and the bag with Adley Rutschman batting. Rutschman has reached base twice. Ground out single hit by pitch. He scored 2 runs. On base twice in his last 7 games. "51 games for Rutschman in a magical rookie year. 24 extra base hits. Second best on base percentage on the Orioles coming into the night, and he has seemed to often slow the game down in these pivotal moments. On the ground here, Mateo ran over the top of it. He'll get to third, and Rutschman is out on a 6-3 ground ball. Time for the Orioles' upcoming schedule, presented by BGE. BGE, building upon what's important to everyone. That's smart energy. Jordan Lyles goes tomorrow on Masson. And then the Orioles are off to Cincinnati. Mike Minor, Tyler Mahle, Nick Lodolo for the Reds. Masson 2, Masson and Masson 2 for those games. Tampa Bay going to the bullpen. Trey Mancini will try to tie the game when we return.
In Adam on the year making his 43rd appearance. 13 holes. ERA is outstanding, 1.41. 38 innings of work. He can strike you out. 46 punch outs. Only 8 walks. Opponents hitting 150 off the right-hander, Jason Adam.
He has been simply one of the best relievers in Major League Baseball this season. Adam has stranded 20 consecutive inherited runners dating back to May 8th at Seattle. But you could read that and say, well, he's due to give up one.
He's due to have a bad game. We'll take one big base hit, hopefully by Trey Mancini. Yeah, the fastball, he can spin it. Fastball is going to average about 95 miles an hour, but he's in the 99th percentile in fastball spin. It's a good mix, though. It's 33% fastball, slider. Got a change up occasionally, an occasional curveball.
Well, Trey snapped out of an 0 for 26 with a 5th inning single. Had a walk before that. See if he can turn 0 for 26 into 2 for 2. Mateo with great speed at third, ready to pounce on anything in the dirt. And that one just a little bit above the dirt. Orioles have been much better last couple of months. Runners in scoring position. Trey good all year in these spots. Does have a home run off of Jason Adam. That's the slider. 99th percentile fastball spin rate. You mentioned that. 99th percentile hard hit rate. 100th percentile expected batting average. It has been an extraordinary season for the 30-year-old Adam, really out of obscurity into the Rays bullpen. Another slider and no swing from Trey.
Boy, it's a short arm stroke, too. You'll watch Adam. He takes the ball out of the glove. It doesn't dip down at all. He takes it right up to the throwing position.
An E5, a fly out and a ground out. Mateo has circled 3/4 of the bases. 2-1 to Mancini. Strike 2. Changeup.
Really good one, too. Watch this action. Righty on righty changeup. Down and in and just underneath the bat of Mancini. Still hadn't seen a fastball.
Tying run at third, Mateo. 2-2. On the ground, Diaz, who's already made an error in the inning, will clean this one up. The Orioles strand the tying run at third. Rewards program has all new experiences for Birdland members in 2022. This was a really cool one. The mystery mini autograph session. Birdland members didn't know who was going to sign their baseballs and cards. Ryan Mountcastle, Dylan Tate, and Austin Hayes did so in the new exclusive Birdland member clubhouse, which is on the club level here at Oriole Park. Birdland Rewards program shows appreciation to our dedicated Birdland members through exclusive, customizable experiences. A lot of folks who watch BP from the field, autograph sessions, special meet and greets. We got to take place in a meet and greet with some Birdland members of late, and I'd say it's maybe a little bit cooler to get Ryan, Austin, and Dylan to sign their baseballs and cards, but a lot of fun stuff for our Birdland members this year.
Well, he's not fired up at all.
You fired up?
That's what cotton candy will do to you.
That's the new fired up guy right there.
Right. Now it's time for the Mountain. Felix Bautista making his 43rd appearance of the year. 1.59 ERA, 39 2/3 innings of work, 50 punch outs, only 13 walks, and opponents hitting 169 off the big right-hander, Bautista.
I have a scoring change. Can you guess what it is?
Let me guess. The 106 off the bat turned into a hit.
Yeah, it sure did.
As it should have been.
So it's an 8-game hit streak now for Mateo. And Bautista to a Rosarena with ball 1. Nick Vespi really good again. Inning in a third, 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 2. Part of the order. And a Rosarena will start it by going the other way. Long run, Odor, and he got him at first.
Yeah, Ruben Odor kind of shaded up the middle there. Had to cover some ground, but gets it done easily. Boy, he's played a good second base for the Orioles this year.
No high socks for Rugi tonight. Different look. It's 2 for 3, so I guess it's working for him. G-Man Choi. Goodness.
Yeah, 99 with some movement away from G-Man Choi.
Gave Tampa Bay the lead with a home run in the first. Rays have not relinquished it. Felix Bautista in his 43rd game of the year, tied for the team lead with Dylan Tate. And he has now pitched in 4 of the first 6 games out of the All-Star break. There's that splitter from Bautista. Said yesterday, I was asking Felix where he learned the splitter, that he learned it from Ramon Martinez, Pedro's brother, about 6 years ago. Didn't learn the fastball from Ramon, but that's pretty good too.
Yeah, that's something you can't teach, is triple digits. Fastball, splitter, then how about a hundy right up to the top, and no chance for G-Man. Yeah, he's got the perfect arm slot for a splitter. I mean, most guys that are right over the top, that's a good pitch. And of course, with the size of the hands that he has. And he does have an occasional slider. We haven't seen the slider much lately. It's been pretty much just heavy fastball and splitter.
2 up and 2 down. Here's Paredes. There's 99. Every night, it appears that Felix Bautista gets a little more dominant, throws a little bit more command.
Yeah, I think the next step for him with the fastball command is every now and then being able to elevate on purpose with that fastball.
I got the bat. That's strike 2.
But as he gets more confidence and more confident in what he's doing and feeling that body, remember, he's 6'8", so there's a lot going on there.
"30 strikeouts this year on the splitter. That's double the number of strikeouts on the fastball. 15 on that, 6 on the slider." Oh, 2 for Paredes. 11 outings in July for Felix Bautista. 10 have been hitless. Here's another. Luke Raley's arm in right field tonight. Adley Rutschman's been in the middle of it all. This is the 3rd inning. A flyout from Anthony Santander. Rutschman goes 2nd to 3rd with 2 outs. That would prove to pay off the very next batter. Drew Rasmussen, a wild pitch, and that tag up would lead directly to a run. And then Adley was back in the middle of a 5th inning rally after being hit by a pitch.
Yeah, Trey Mancini just slices this ball down the line, and there is Luke Raley again out in right field. Now, cutoff throw comes, but he skips by Brandon Lau. When it skips by Lau, Adley Rutschman takes an extra 90 feet and barely beats the throw home. So a couple mistakes in the outfield by Luke Raley, and the Orioles have taken advantage of it.
Rutschman scored 2 of the Orioles' 3 runs, and they bat here in the bottom of the 8th, down 1. Anthony Santander got a changeup from Jason Adam. On base twice today, Santander. Base hit in the second. Hit by a pitch, both against Drew Rasmussen. 0-2. Remember, the Orioles trailed into the 8th inning last night. They were down by a run, 3-2. They would score 3 runs and win it. Ramon Urias with a go-ahead home run. He's due up 5th in this inning. Orioles have come back time and time again this season. Atmosphere has been electric here since the All-Star break. That is pulled into the shift and Lau. Well, the Orioles this year 10-41 when trailing after 6. That may not sound like a lot as Aiken and Lopez warm up, but 10-41. And look, not a lot of teams win trailing after the 6, so that is the 3rd best record in baseball. They also have 6 wins in games where they've trailed at the end of 7. Also one of the best records in baseball.
Never easy, but not going to be easy tonight for sure. Jason Adams is pretty special. That fastball slider changeup combination that he has, all 3 of them well above average pitches.
Strike 1 to Mountcastle. Single to right field in the second. Key ground out with 2 on, 2 out against Thompson in the 5th. Amazing what the Rays have done with Jason Adam, who had a .591 ERA in 12 games with the Cubs last year. Big league season, a couple of good years, a couple of subpar ones, and now an absolutely dominant force. 3 sliders to strike out Mountcastle swinging.
Well, you show him you can throw it for a strike like you did on strike 2, and then you throw the same pitch, but this time he just bottoms it right below the zone. In the zone most of the way, and how about the depth on that slider as it works down and away from Mountcastle. I mean, Adam, he's just one of those guys you hope he makes a mistake.
Kyle Snyder, the Rays pitching coach, has not seen many mistakes this year. Ball 1 to Hayes. Orioles did touch up at him for a home run on Saturday. That came from Adley Rutschman. He's not going to face him tonight.
This is a slider, not the fastball, just leaves it well up and in. Well, you'd like to see Hayes reach here. That way Mullins would be guaranteed and at bat in the 9th.
What's the approach here for Hayes?
I think you just look for something right in the middle heart of the plate and just sit on all speed or fastball.
Instead, he got hit.
Boy, and Austin Hayes did not need that. The wrist seemed like it had just gotten healthy.
Boy, the Orioles have taken a fair share of bumps and bruises tonight. Yeah, that's the right wrist.
That's the right wrist. That's the exact wrist.
Good grief. Both hands have taken a beating for Austin this year, and he is quite literally as tough as anybody on this team, so he will stay in.
Yeah, and he took the All-Star break, and the All-Star break came at a perfect time for Austin Hayes and was able to finally get that wrist. You know, he played the last couple of weeks nicked up with his right wrist before the All-Star break.
So Hayes, Rutschman, and Santander have all been hit by pitches today. Rutschman in the elbow, Santander on the knee, Hayes and the wrist. Wells left the game with lower back discomfort. Orioles have been beaten up in a season where they've really been healthy. They have a chance to take the lead, though. Odor the go-ahead run with 2 outs. Mr. Big Swing. Little gamesmanship from Jason Adam. A 2-hit game for Odor tonight. His 5th 2-hit game of the year. He has 3 3-hit games. He'll miss a changeup. Odor singled in a run in the 2nd on a chopper through the left side. That's not very nice.
Well, Hayes only has 1 stolen base. Not likely to run, but Adam does take a little while to get rid of the ball. It's a pretty high leg kick. There's no slide step at all.
That's strike 2. Odor trying to stay alive on 0-2 in the 8th inning. And he will go down. So an inning and a 3rd scoreless for Adam, and a 1-run Tampa Bay lead into the 9th. Is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, those Orioles right over there. First Orioles game button, and hopefully it will be an even more memorable one with the 9th inning rally. Is that an Aquafina water label being used as a mouth guard?
Oh, Dad said you might.
I swear I like the water.
Might be talking a little bit too much.
Is that in the parenting handbook?
Yes, it could be.
Well, to the top of the 9th we go. Orioles came back down in the 8th yesterday. Keegan Aiken ended up getting the win, facing one batter, striking him out, and he is back on tonight.
Now making his 27th appearance of the year. Outstanding ERA, been busy. 55 1/3 out of that bullpen for the Orioles. 46 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just 193 off the left-hander, Keegan Aiken.
First pitch to Luke Raley, sliced to left field. Hayes, who stayed in the game. So Keegan Aiken has been used a little bit differently since the All-Star break. He is pitching on back-to-back days for just the second time this season. Aiken threw 2 or more innings for almost the first 3 months of the year. 2 or more innings in his first 19 games. And assuming he does not go 2 innings tonight, it would be the 8th time or 7th time in the last 8 games he would throw under 2 innings. Christian Bethancourt in the air, out of play. Doesn't feel like necessarily a change of role permanently. Just circumstances have dictated Aiken's been needed for more short inning stints. There's Colin Poche. On the ground to third, and Urias. Oh, he threw it way too late. Bethancourt beat it out. Urias did not realize the speed of Bethancourt, who hustled it out for an infield hit.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes by Urias, and understanding how fast Bethancourt, watch him catch the ball 1, 2, 3, 4, and a skip and a hop, and just not in time. Mountcastle digs it out of the dirt.
Raising at a pinch run, Brett Phillips at first. Rene Pinto a little bit more solid defensively, so he'll catch the bottom of the 9th as Phillips, the ever antic outfielder, runs for Bethancourt. Strike 1 to Josh Lowe. Rays have led this game from the 4th batter. Led by as many as 3, have not trailed. But the Orioles will have some big bats in the bottom of the 9th. Urias will lead off. And if it's Urias Poche, that's a nice matchup. Urias won that with a 2-run homer yesterday off Poche. Mateo and Mullins to follow him, 8, 9, and 1. And if anybody gets on, Adley Rutschman. Last night's hero, Ramon Urias. Oh, that's into the Tampa Bay dugout. That may have hit Yandy Diaz, who was up on the top step. Doesn't appear to be much concern down there. Maybe he just got spooked. There he is.
Made his way back out. Chased him down in the tunnel.
Phillips still not going on strike 3. A paint job to get Low. Strikeout number 13 for Orioles pitching tonight.
Big time fastball there, 94. Adley Rutschman rocked to the outside part. That's exactly where he wanted it, and that's exactly where it's delivered.
Well, struck out 5 in 4 1/3. Tate got 3 strikeouts in an inning and a third. Vespi an inning and a third, struck out 2, and Bautista punched out 2 in his 1 inning of work. So the O's have struck out 13. They ended the first half striking out 14 Tampa Bay hitters. That's up the middle, and Walls is retired on a line drive to Odor. It'll be Ramon Urias trying to play hero, leading off the ninth when we return. Has been one of the best hitters on the planet in the last 3 weeks. Hit the game-winning home run yesterday in the 8th inning off of Colin Poche. And wouldn't you know it, it is Ramon Urias leading off the 9th inning against Colin Poche.
Yeah, Poche making his 36th appearance of the year. 6 for 9 in save opportunities, ERA just above 3. 32 innings of work, he struck out 29. But he has yielded 7 home runs. Opponents hitting 190 off the left-hander, Colin Poche.
And about 24 hours ago, this is what happened when these two linked up.
Yeah, bottom of the 8th inning, 0-2 count, fastball on the inside part of the plate. Urias quickly turned it around, his 11th long ball of the year. And can he do it again?
Well, 8-9-1 typically doesn't excite you. It excites that guy, though. And with good reason, because 8-9-1 right now is Urias, Mateo, and Mullins, 3 of the Orioles' hottest hitters.
Yeah, typically you get down to 8-9-1 late in the ballgame, you go, okay, we're kind of right where we want to be. But not so much with the Orioles right now.
Rays have shored up their defense here at the bottom of the 9th inning after Phillips pinch ran for Bethancourt. Rene Pinto into the game to catch for Tampa Bay. The batter is Urias, and he takes ball 1. Phillips has entered the game to play center. Josh Lowe's over to right, and wouldn't you know it, Luke Raley's rather involved day in the outfield is done. There's a strike right around the spot. Ramon hit for a tank last night. He's got some streaks on the line here, 8 in a row with a hit and 11 straight on base. One and one from Poche. Out of play. Saw the numbers there. Urias has homered twice off Colin Poche in their limited time together. Ramon and his brother Luis, who plays for Milwaukee, both with game-winning RBIs last night. Rare curve for Poche, who is 81% fastball. What'll he do on 2-2? He'll go back to the fastball. It's popped up. And Lau secures the out.
Yeah, he got that fastball in, but that's not where Pinto was set up. Pinto wanted that ball more on the outside part of the play, but it works for Poche in a big first out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rally caps are going on. Turn it inside out, try it that way.
One down, Mateo. Strike 1. Jorge extended his hit streak to 8, his on-base streak to 11. with what was eventually ruled an infield single in the 7th. Mateo socks one right center field deep. Phillips away, back. It is gone. Absolutely crazy. They've done it again. The batting helmet is gone. Tampa Bay's lead is gone. This game is alive. The Orioles once again back from the dead.
Jorge Mateo. How about that swing? Boy, and Colin Poche gives up another one.
It just keeps happening. There is no hotter place to be than Camden Yards night in and night out.
Four-seam fastball elevated, and that's some bat speed. And boy, oh boy, ain't the beer cold.
Now Mullins.
Having his career best month, Jorge Mateo, after an off June. But he has made up for it here in the month of July.
3-0 to Mullins. You know, there's been so much talk this season about the great minor league infielders in the system. Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westburg, and all of those folks. And Jorge Mateo has reminded us how deep his skill set runs. There's a strike, 3-1 to Cedric. Just a season that looked lost offensively through June. He has turned it on in July. Brandon Hyde has waxed poetic about his opposite field power, and it shows up at a big moment. Mullins trying to end it into a full count. Even the Yankee fans are into it right now. Everybody's on the Orioles side. America's team. 3-2 for Cedric. Got him swinging.
Back-to-back fastball. This one's elevated at 94, right to the top of the zone. And it's up to Adley Rutschman now with 2 out here in the 9th.
Adley on base twice tonight. It is just, it appears, an inevitability. The Orioles trail late in the game. They're going to come back on. They just keep doing it every night. 2-0, 4 batters into the game. 3-0 Tampa in the second. Last year, 3-0 Tampa Bay would turn into about 9-0 Tampa
It just
Bay.
feels like Groundhog's Day. You know, just get down early, fight your way back. Bullpen does its thing. Offense does just enough.
Two and one for Rutschman.
Well, just take your shirt off and swing it around. We've got the rally shirt going, rally caps on inside out.
Well, now that they've tied it, that guy's going to have to leave the shirt off. Good swing by Adley, 2-2. The infectious energy that has emerged with this team, the brand of baseball, the excitement of all of these late game comebacks. Everybody's getting shirtless here at the park.
It started something now.
we're going to keep ours on just to be safe. For now. 2-2. 2 down in the ninth. Ball 3 to Rutschman.
Yeah, if you've not been out to watch this team here this year at Camden Yards, you are missing out.
And more people are coming to Camden Yards to watch one of the most truly exciting, thrilling shows on grass and dirt. 3-2 coming in the ninth. Rutschman is aboard. The winning run is at first. Adley on for the third time today. The home run chain wearer has given the Orioles new life. There is Jorge Mateo's son in the crowd, who was absolutely thrilled, and he is right in front of Sarah Perlman, Trey Mancini's fiance. So Mateo ties it. His son's going crazy, and Sarah might be about to lose her mind right now, because here is Trey. A first pitch through the left side. Base hit Mancini. Rutschman the winning run to second. A 2-hit night for Trey.
Well, Trey kind of got back to his form last night. It wasn't a base hit, but it was rocking out to right center field. A base hit out that way today, right down the right field line. And boy, hunting a fastball, and he got one here. Quickly turns on and hits a rocket by Diaz. So the winning run now in scoring position.
And the Orioles will remove Rutschman for the pinch runner Ryan McKenna. Kyle Snyder out to talk to the beleaguered Colin Poche. And a big moment for Trey Mancini. Pete Fairbanks up in the Tampa Bay bullpen. Maybe too late. Quickly, let's check in with Brett.
Kevin, I talked to Ryan McKenna, who's on as a pinch runner here, about earning the nickname the Ferrari, given to him last year by Orioles bench coach Freddie Gonzalez for these very moments, his wheels.
Well, this is the time to put the Ferrari out of the garage, Brett. Take him out for a little spin. See if Santander can set the wheels in motion. Poche to the plate. Santander right on it. Anthony has delivered a walk-off home run this season, one of 8 walk-off wins for the Orioles. And he takes a rare curveball. It's all set up for Santander to be the hero. One and two. McKenna the winning run at second. One, two.
Another good swing on the fastball. And Poche, what, he throws 81% fastballs. I mean, that's what you have to do. Sit on the fastball. Pretty much fastball, curveball, but 81% fastball.
Look, it's an effective pitch. I mean, ERA coming into the night, it's 3.09, but the Orioles have seen a lot of Poche fastballs the last couple of nights.
And that's what Urias said last night. You said, no, he throws a lot of fastballs.
Another one here, and Santander whacks it out of play. That home run chain has had a long stint around Jorge Mateo's neck. Santander can blow the roof back off this place with one swing of the bat. Poche trying to send it to the 10th. And a breaking ball is popped out of play.
Boy, Santander seems locked in right now.
His walk-off home run came against the Yankees May the 19th. A base hit would do it tonight with McKenna at second. And ball 2 is up and away. This will be the 28th pitch of a 9th inning that has felt awfully helpless at times for Poche. The 8th pitch to Santander. It is the last. Up the ladder he goes, and off to extras we go.
Yeah, Jorge Mateo. How about one swing? That would tie it up. How about a little bonus baseball from Camden Yard? We're going to the 10th.
From the 4th batter on. They trailed all the way from the 4th batter into the bottom of the 9th when Jorge Mateo tied this game with a home run, the 72nd batter of the game, in fact. And now the O's and Rays are in a brand new game with Mateo, one of your heroes tonight, and the Orioles all-star Jorge Lopez trying to keep this deadline.
Yeah, Lopez making his 43rd appearance of the year, 19 saves out of 23 opportunities, outstanding ERA. 46 innings of work, 52 strikeouts, opponents hitting 170 off the Oriole closer, Jorge Lopez.
And the Oriole bullpen has been absolutely magnificent all season, all series, and all night long. Tyler Wells knocked out of the game with lower back discomfort in the 5th. 4 1/3, 4 runs. Tate, Vespi, Bautista, and Aiken 4 2/3 scoreless with 8 strikeouts, 1 walk since then. Runner at second is Walls, the automatic runner in the 10th. And the new catcher Robinson Chirinos in for the pinch runner McKenna. Holds strike 1 to Yandy Diaz. Top 3 in the lineup for Tampa here in the 10th. Diaz, Lau, and Rosarena. .99, but he didn't get the call. Lopez threw the 10th at Tampa on Saturday. Gave up an unearned run in that game on a G-man choice single. Carved through the top of the Rays lineup yesterday, though, after a leadoff infield single for Josh Lowe. Got Diaz, Lau, and a Rosarena all on groundouts. And he will face those 3 in order here in the 10th. A ground ball from Diaz, softly hit. Urias with a charge, and he couldn't throw it, or he didn't want to. Might not have had the grip, might not have thought there was a chance anyway. An infield single makes it 1st and 3rd with nobody out.
Yeah, bad break there. Jorge Lopez just really makes too good of a pitch. Diaz didn't hit it hard enough, and the way he gets down the line, Probably pretty smart right here for Ramon Urias just to put it in his back pocket.
Rays are going to send a pinch runner out for Diaz. Roman Quinn. Very fast runner Quinn will take over for Diaz. So first and third, nobody out. You know your team's going to get a runner at second. How do you approach this if you're Lopez?
Well, I think you're still trying to create a ground ball. Maybe you get a ground ball double play that would net one run. But when you get to 2 strikes, then you start to think strikeout at this point. But you got to be careful with Quinn over at first base because Quinn will steal second.
Outside to Lau. But that pitch was definitely outside, but you could tell how engaged and how into it the Oriole fans are right now. Those who have stuck it out through all 9 innings tonight, many of whom have now removed an article of clothing, are all over Mike Malinsky. Lau has flied into a double play to center, grounded out, struck out twice. Quinn a very good base stealer at first. Not going. On ball 2. No swing on the appeal to John Lipka. Hey, if it's within 10 feet of the plate, Mike's just going to get worn out for the rest of this game. Torrinos catches it in the air. They're going to want to strike. And who can blame him? 2-0 for Lau. Strike 1. The Orioles' lone all-star selection, Lopez. A scoreless 9th inning yesterday. Last 7 outings, 6 saves and a win. Hasn't allowed an earned run in that span. Lau holds off on a changeup. Rosarena on deck with a couple of Rays on base. That's a high strike.
High and maybe a little bit on the inner third. Yeah, 2-seam fastball just kind of works back, starts it right on the corner and has it come back. Well, can you make that pitch again?
Would you try it?
I think so. I think if you got that kind of command with your fastball tonight, you could start it just maybe in and have it work back. You may get a strikeout looking.
When not going, it is in the dirt. Ball 4. He went to the curveball instead. And the Rays have loaded the bases with nobody out.
All right, so you got a Rosarena now, nobody out, bases loaded, and where they've had success with a Rosarena tonight, or actually in this series, has been fastballs in the inside part. So I'm sure the Orioles are going to pull the infield in and try to come home with it, and hoping Jorge Lopez can create a ground ball.
He did create a ground ball yesterday against a Rosarena, ground out to second end of the game. A Rosarena who has worn out the Orioles in his career. 2 for 9 against Lopez. 4 for 13 in this series, the 4 hits singles. He does have 4 groundouts and he does have 2 strikeouts. They're pushed in on the Oriole infield with nowhere to put Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, the middle infielders are not all the way in. They're kind of what you'd call halfway.
You think on a ground ball to the middle infield they might try to turn 2?
If it's hit hard enough, they may. The idea now is about minimizing damage. I mean, obviously you'd love to get out of this inning, but if you just give up 1 somehow. But if you don't think you can turn 2, the play's got to become home.
Now Lopez, who like many of the Oriole pitchers has thrown a lot of late and a lot this year, does not have his A command right now.
No, and it's a dangerous count here too. 2-0 count. Pretty good fastball hitter. I know he hadn't hit the fastball this year like he did last year.
Two 2-0 to Arozarena. Got him to pop one out of play. Might have been ball 3. Ji-Man Choi, who started the scoring, awaits. A 2-1. In the air to right field. That is slicing away from Santander and off the wall to score a pair. Quinn races in. Odor's throw will be late, and it's a 2-run Arozarena double to make it 6-4 Tampa Bay.
And Randy Arozarena continues to do it against the Orioles. Came in hitting .380 in his career. That's his 2nd base hit tonight, and that's a big one. Trying to get that fastball in. A pretty good swing here. Inside out swing, and he just kind of lets the hands travel and the barrel follows it, and a rocket out to right field over Santander's head.
It's 32 RBIs in 33 career games against the Orioles, and they will walk Ji-Man Choi to load the bases and set up a force everywhere. That's going to bring up Isaac Paredes. 2 hits, 2 walks for Tampa Bay in the inning. Orioles will have Mountcastle, Hayes, and Odor, then Urias if anybody reaches in the bottom of the 10th. And the goal right now is to get to the bottom of the 10th in a 2-run game. Paredes has struck out 3 times tonight. That's belted foul. It's not the same kind of comfort we're used to seeing from Jorge Lopez.
No, he's fighting a little bit tonight, but a strikeout would go a long way right here.
He's tried a couple of changeups. That's a high fastball. That's also drilled. That's also foul.
Yeah, and Isak Paredes is getting the head out on that fastball too. Well, Lopez wanted that one. He's questioned the call too, home plate umpire, because that one caught the outside part of the box. Boy, right where Chirinos is set up to, but didn't get the call.
Some real frustration from Lopez. We don't typically see that. On the ground at third, Urias will go home for one. Chirinos safe at first. The lead runner out at the plate, 5-2. Paredes just beat it at first.
I thought the Orioles had a real shot here to turn this one. Nice throw by Urias, but just not in time.
Chirinos in the game defensively for Rutschman. A little bit of a weaker throwing arm. Most have a weaker throwing arm than Adley. Fielder's choice, 5-2, one down. And here's the catcher Pinto for his first at bat. For Urias there too, you have to get the lead out. The question is, how quickly do you go? You don't want to rush it, but if you go quickly, a better chance to get two.
Yeah, you know, I'm nitpicking a little bit right here, but I felt like he took a little bit too much time to get that ball to home plate. There's Cionel Perez getting loose at the Oriole bullpen.
Yeah, Brett Phillips on deck, left-handed batter. This is a good spot of the order to be in. Pinto only at .218 on base percentage. Has a strikeout to walk ratio of undefined. 26 strikeouts, 0 walks for Pinto in 17 games.
Yeah, this will be the 25th pitch for Lopez too. So if you think you might need him tomorrow, this might be his last batter.
Orioles bullpen has been so breathtakingly brilliant this year. It's a shock to the system when anything like this happens. 1 run, 1 unearned run. 4 2/3 scoreless before tonight.
I mean, before this inning began, the Oriole bullpen in this series had worked 14 1/3 and given up 7 hits, no runs, and struck out 19 just in this series.
Pinto on the ground to shortstop. Mateo 1, Odor 2. So the damage limited after the Arozarena double. Tampa Bay does take the lead in the 10th.
Baseball on Masson, MassonSports.com, and streaming live on the Masson app.
Tampa Bay gets 2 in the 10th on a Randy Arozarena double. Though Jorge Lopez did limit the damage after the Rays loaded the bases with nobody out upon scoring those 2 runs. So the Orioles will have the automatic runner at second, Santander. They will bring the tying run to the plate, and they will face Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah, Pete Fairbanks only making his 4th appearance of the year. ERA elevated, only in 3 innings of work. Hadn't walked a batter, 3 strikeouts, but opponents are hitting .417 off the right-hander, Pete Fairbanks.
It's going to be Mountcastle to lead it off. Then Hayes, who homered off of Fairbanks 10 days ago, and then Odor, who has a couple of walk-off RBIs against Tampa Bay this year. So we're saying there's a chance.
Well, with this team, there's always a chance, it feels like.
Roman Quinn pinch ran for Yandy Diaz, so he stays in to play center. And that means Yu Chang has to come in to play third. So Brett Phillips is out of the game. And the Rays have used their entire bench. Mountcastle to kick us off against the hard-throwing Fairbanks. The Rays' 6th pitch of the game. And Ryan always ready to attack the first pitch. Sends it into right. Low is there with some room. Oh, so close.
Man. Really good swing by Mountcastle, too. Just not enough.
Still homerless since July the 3rd. Mountcastle, he's come awfully close the last 2 nights. And now Hayes, who homered on the first pitch Pete Fairbanks threw in the big leagues this season 10 days ago. That breaking ball not close. Last home run for Austin was that shot off of Fairbanks. His 12th of the season. Got 100, punched it back. Fairbanks has electric stuff. He, like so many of the Rays, has battled injuries all season. A right lat strain knocked him out all the way till July 17th, and now here he is trying to close out a win, snap the Rays' 4-game losing streak. Oh, that got Mike Malinsky, the plate umpire, in the mask.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball just tips off the glove and square in the mask.
Good to see Mike's okay. He's trying to battle back a 2-strike count. Not going to do it as Fairbanks puts the Rays on the brink. Well, there has been some magic in Rougned Odor's bat against Tampa Bay this season. Back to May the 20th off of Ralph Garza Jr. Snapped a 6-6 tie in the 13th inning, but it wouldn't be his last walk-off RBI of the series. Wouldn't be his last Gatorade bat, because 2 days later he did this, a little number pass to G-Man Shore. Certainly has a flair for the dramatic, and this is about as dramatic as they come. You have to sit something here if you're Odor 0-1.
It's hard. It is hard to sit anything here, especially when you're behind in the count, because you got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming at you and a pretty good breaking ball too.
And that's the breaking ball. Down to their final 2 outs. The Orioles tied it in the 9th with a Jorge Mateo homer, and they put the winning run at second, but could not break through in the 9th. 1-2 for Odor in the 10th. Fairbanks chasing Santander back. He's serving only as a distraction right now. He could walk home and it wouldn't matter. He might well walk home. This is just trying to mess with Fairbanks as much as possible in that position. No infielders within about 50 feet of him. Odor stays alive. If Odor can reach, Urias would be the winning run. Another 1-2. And he got a piece again.
Well, I don't know how he got a piece of that one, too. 99 up and in. So a curveball before that. Gets a piece of it, and a fastball up and in.
This will be the 6th pitch to Odor. The Orioles' last remaining light in the 10th. And he hits one on the ground. Lau, the second baseman, a wide throw, and Paredes found the bag, and the Rays win it. A 6-4 final as Tampa Bay dusts off the Orioles in 10. Another amazing comeback for the O's, but they drop a game on the Rays and fall back to 49 and 49. Going to be a jam-packed O's Extra once again. Let's get you to it with Brett Hollander.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll get the latest on Tyler Wells, who left this game in the 5th inning. We hope to hear from Tyler coming up. Plus, all the very latest on the signing of #1 overall pick Jackson Holliday. We will hear from Brandon Hyde. And how about the Orioles, some aggressive base running today? Until that big blast from Jorge Mateo, that was the offense. It's all coming up on O's Extra Post Game, presented by PNC.